Podcast Charge!
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 119 of Lost in Translation. I'm May.
And I am Jay.
And this week we watched The Rise of Rise Greymon.
Or Masaru's Neo Power, Evolve Rise Greyman.
Why do you still do that?
Funsies?
It's not fun.
It is for me.
Suffer! It's awful.
Just suffer already!
And we also watched The Wild Boy of the Digital World.
Or Digimon Boy Ikuto, Forest Guardian Jirei Man.
For DigiNews this week, first up, Try Chapter 3 is going to be released in US on home video December 8th.
On home video.
That's what it's called. It's Blu-ray and DVD, and that's too much of a mouthful, so home video.
No, I'm just thinking it's like a VHS tape showing up in your door. Here you go, home video.
I think home video is a good word for it, because it's still home release. It's still video you have at home.
It's just DVD.
And Blu-ray.
No, a disc format is just DVD.
And digital. Well, in America, get this. Okay, so and I'm quite upset about this. The Blu-ray of Try Chapter 1 on Blu-ray for Australia was released on DVD or Blu-ray separately. The DVD costs $30 and the Blu-ray costs $40.
Okay.
In America, it was $10 for the DVD, the Blu-ray, and a digital download code.
Yeah, because things cost more in Australia because we're weird.
I just, why is everything so expensive in Australia? I need to buy a house.
Oh, the houses are also expensive, so give up on that.
Yeah, I don't have, $1 million to buy a house. Like, bare minimum $1 million to buy a house in a suburb where I don't want to
get stabbed.
No, I mean like where they won't like.
No, let's open with disparaging all of the other suburbs. That's the idea.
No, because there are cheaper suburbs, but they're like 2 hours away from the city.
Yes, and also we can't just we have to disparage them directly, not indirectly.
Anyway, the point is, prices in Australia are just bonkers, but I'll pay them anyway because I want to support this thing. But anyway, Penguin Mage, who gave us their digital download code for Try Chapter 2.
Never do that again, please. I don't want you to do that again.
Says she's going to give us the Try Chapter 3 digital download code as well.
Don't do that. Please change your mind. Change your mind right now.
Because, I doubt that we'll get Chapter 2 released here by December, let alone Chapter 3 as well. So it's really good that we'll be able to cover that as soon as we can.
See how long I could have waited if you didn't do this? Just don't do it. Reconsider, please.
I can get someone else on.
Please reconsider.
I'll get Mitch to do it. It's
Nobody.
Okay.
Oh, you mean... Oh, okay.
If you really don't want to do it, I can get someone else on.
That's really good news. Okay.
But Try Chapter 3 was the best one of Try.
That's fine.
But honestly, if you don't want to do it, you don't have
Mitch
to.
would have to watch the Japanese as well to get the context. And then he'd have to watch 1 and 2. Suffering.
You had to watch it all too, Jay.
I wouldn't. What are you talking about?
Well, you had to.
Yeah, I know, but now I wouldn't have to watch this one.
I could just make you.
Oh, don't say these things.
Anyway, more DigiNews. The DigiFez stuff. You can buy some stuff now. You can buy the
Digimon
the
Cross
cards.
Fez?
No, Fest. As in Fest. As in the Digimon Festival they have for August 1st.
Is that a thing?
Yes. We talk about it every year, Jay. We're doing this.
What kind of nerd would organise that? What are they going to do next? Have a musical?
It's a stage play, it's not a musical.
Oh, that's really lame.
Oh, so
I was really hoping it would be a musical.
Anyway, so you can also buy the shirts, but they're only selling them in large or extra large, and it makes me really upset because...
Just buy a blanket.
I was going to buy you one, actually.
Oh, why didn't you?
Would you wear it?
What is it again?
It's Digimon related?
You'd wear it.
Okay.
I would have it, but you would wear it.
Good point. I probably would. I do wear your shirts. But the thing is, yeah, they're very large, but they're very cool. So my theory is that these are the leftovers from DigiFez that didn't sell at the event and they just wanted to sell them. So they're just selling them online now.
It makes sense. It's funny because in America, they sell out all the big ones and you just get smalls.
Okay.
So it says something about the size of the culture.
Yeah. So there's large of the red and black one and of the one that says all the names on it. And then the one that says 0801.
The hell does that mean?
August 1st.
God, I'm smart.
Yes, you are. You're very smart.
We write dates properly here, which is we write 0108, like real people.
Yeah. It goes from the sizes, the day smaller than the month and then the year.
Exactly. No. You have to know it's March. You could be, just because you say it's March 1st, doesn't mean you write 0301, you big weirdos.
See, I'm always lucky because no matter how I write my birthday, it always is the same, no matter where.
True. And people who have like birthdays where, it's over the number 12, like on the 13th, 14th, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it now. Me? Am I the 2nd of November to you? Because that's silly. Not though.
I'm going to give you presents on the 2nd of November now.
Okay, cool. Thanks. I'll take it.
Damn it, that doesn't actually benefit me at all.
It really doesn't. I should organize your Christmas present. I know it's going to be. I just haven't got it yet.
Well, I've organised the anniversary present for you, as well as... I haven't organised Christmas yet, but I will.
Well, anniversary, I think I'm just covering you for stuff.
That's boring.
I know, but then you wouldn't be able to do those things otherwise.
Okay, good point. Good point. Cars are expensive to look after.
You bought me a car?
Yeah, I bought your car. No, I'm looking after my car.
I'm joking.
Retro and stuff.
That's fair.
And that's it for DigiNews. On to Lost NewsLatelymon. First up, a lot of people requested me to write my essay of why I wasn't particularly impressed with Pokemon Sun and Moon, so I wrote that on our blog, which is lostintranslationmon.com, and I uploaded it, and hopefully people would actually like to read that, because so many people were requesting. I was just like, fine, I guess I'll just have to show it, and Jay was interested until I said I actually did, and he saw how much writing there was and said, I'm not going to read that.
Like, can you summarize it to me? And you're like, yes, and then you did, and like, cool, I don't need to read it now.
Yeah. And
Problem solved.
For more Lost NewsLatelymon, just a bit of housekeeping stuff. We'll be recording our next Lane episode a week early, so backers will get that raw a week early. It'll have the same release date for everyone else, as in edited and everything uploaded for the podcast. But we're just recording a week early because a few days before where we would be recording Lane is actually when Try Chapter 5 comes out, and that'd be too much recording. So we're kind of like recording it a little bit earlier, just so people know. And we're almost at our next milestone again, which is the Japanese Digimon board game translation, review, and video playthrough. So that's exciting. Yay! And on to Obnoxious Synopsis. The first episode that we're watching this week is called The Rise of Rise Greymon, or Masaru's New Power, Evolve Rise Greymon. What do you think will happen in this episode?
I bet he punches someone with both fists and he can evolve Geo Greymon and kind of more. I don't know what else you want from me. It's
So you think
literally no information.
it just has to do with punching twice?
I think it has to do with fighting harder. But like, here's the thing, right? He's never DNA charged while Geo Greymon's already out. By that time, Geo Greymon just wins the fight. So presumably, I'm thinking Geo Greymon gets like hit and he falls down. Masaru's like, I'll fight now, whatever, I can do this, even though Geo Greymon couldn't. And I'll punch him and I'm charged again. What? Let's go. I don't know, something like that.
So do you think this is against Marukimon?
Mercurymon?
I'm using his dub name because otherwise I get confused with Mercurymon from Frontier.
I honestly don't think that fight's going to go for very long. I feel like he's going to get smashed immediately, and then Mercurymon's like, I don't have time for this. I'm too strong.
So are we against a Monster of the Week?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think anything will annoy you in this episode?
I guess, why did Mercurymon show up in the first place?
He wanted the egg. Well, he wanted Piamon, rather.
But why? Is it... I don't know. I feel like these are important questions, and maybe they'll get answered, but I'm suspicious that it's literally to introduce the bad guy to them when he didn't need to.
Well, it's both that. It's both to introduce, but he said he was just going there for Piamon.
No, I'm suspicious that, like, that goal is irrelevant.
Okay, that's fair. Do you think it'll be a good episode?
Yes, because I bet there's going to be tons of punching in it.
Do you think it'll be an exciting activation, or do you think it'll be lame?
I think it's going to be awesome, actually. Because you know what? Look, if it's based on Masaru punching stuff, it's going to be good. That's the best part of Savers by like a mile.
What rating?
I'm going to call it... Look, I'm going to be really generous, and I might regret it later. Let's call it an 8 right now.
Wow.
And I might regret that.
Wow, you're optimistic.
Absolutely.
Filler or not filler?
It's clearly not filler.
Alright, second episode, The Wild Boy of the Digital World, or Digimon Boy Akuto, Forest Guardian Juraimon. What do you think will happen in this episode?
So, I'm thinking that the kids... Okay, because Mercurymon goes back into the digital world, probably with the egg from last episode.
Yeah.
Now they have to...
Wait, egg? But it's Piamon.
Probably kills Piamon, gets an egg. I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever. Kidnaps Piamon. Either way, succeeds.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why he leaves the Monster of the Week behind. Whatever. Now they decide, you know what? We have to go back in there and get Piamon back or whatever. Who cares? So they go into the digital world and they're introduced to this Ikuto character who, I don't know, there's Juraimon in there. I'm trying to figure out if he's hanging out with it or if it's a bad guy. I'm thinking Ikuto's probably...
well, they mentioned him in the last episode.
Yeah, but they mentioned him positively. So I'm thinking he might be bad. He might be evil, which means that he's hanging out with, his forest bro, which is a big tree. Then he gets away from the dats and the tree fights them instead. That's it.
So what kind of person do you think Akuto is? Or his dub name's Keenan, and we know that much from the last episode.
That's weird. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking shirtless, like loincloth, like little Tarzan boy. And I'm thinking he's not going to say anything in this episode particularly, besides maybe like go away.
How old do you think he is?
Younger, 14.
Do you think he is maybe part of DATS, or do you think why do you think he's in the digital world?
I think it's unrelated. I think it could. It wouldn't be young. It wouldn't be that young then, but like there's a possibility. No, I already theorized it was because of Masaru's dad that you can't go to the digital world usually. So I don't think it has to do with that. I'm thinking he was like a child who was like raised in the digital world. We don't know what the time is like there though, but it could have been any number of years. That's what I think though.
Do you think anything will annoy you in this episode?
If there's like a really arbitrary reason they don't catch him, like it's they just didn't try very hard, or they just stood around and watched him run away, because that often happens.
Do you think it'll be a good episode?
I think it's actually going to be kind of boring. So let's give it a 6 because it'll be functional, but I think it's going to be boring.
Filler or not filler?
Not filler, obviously. They have to introduce this new character who's important. Wait a minute.
What?
You told me the child was coming. The child character.
Well, there's a child character in every season.
Yeah, it's probably this guy. All right, so he's gonna join DATS later. And that will be interesting. 14 might be a bit too high then. Let's go with 12.
And do you think he has a partner? Because you did say in the last episode you thought it was Marukimon.
I think yes, probably as a partner. It is entirely possible that he has not been introduced to them yet, or that it's Peckmon, and that would be quite funny.
Okay.
And that would explain why Mikumon's like coming back for it, because it's like, oh no, the partner's gone. We need to bring you back.
His partner has been introduced, but I'm not going to tell you who it is.
Okay, so or it could be the owl. That is also a possibility.
Any other predictions?
In fact, since the owl's a child, that is very possible. No, I think that's sort of tapped me out there.
Okie dokie, well, on to the show. So this week, as the same as last week, we'll be covering both these episodes as one episode because we started late recording again and I don't want to go to bed at 3 a.m. again or 4 a.m. or did I sleep last time? I can't remember. Anyway.
You make these choices yourself, by the way.
I just
You do this to yourself. I always tell you can just go to sleep and you're like, no, I will die.
If I'm not producing content, I'll die. I'm like a little shark robot. I'm a content producing shark because that exists, right? I'm a shark covered in bandages, though. So the first episode was episode 13, The Rise of Rise Greymon, or Masaru's New Power, Evolve Rise Greymon. And it starts off with a last time on, and in the dub, I noticed quite a strange error.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if you picked this up too, but in the recap, in the dub, they actually left in Chica being, like, attacked by shurikens, which they cut out of the last episode.
Yeah, I couldn't have caught it if I don't watch the recap.
Oh, I watched it. I watched the whole thing.
That's weird. People like you watch ending credits, and I don't understand.
I don't watch ending credits.
Oh, I'm not so sure about that.
No, I don't. I watch intro credits because they're between me and... They're like usually sandwiched between anime and anime. Except for Atmon.
VLC tells you where the credits begin and end.
Eh?
VLC tells you where the credits begin and end.
Oh, wow, it does it? Oh, wow.
So you can just skip over.
I should use that, but I also really like the intro to My Hero Academia.
Okay, it's a good one.
It is good. It is very good. So after the recap, Masaru is told to retreat from the fight with Marukimon.
And everyone who hears that goes, oh, but it's Masaru, of course.
And he's not, because it's his character, and I'm glad that he didn't retreat, because that wouldn't be his character if he retreated.
So, hey May, I got a quick question for you.
It's
a quiz, a Digimon quiz. Only the best fans can know this.
Digi-quiz, alright, I can do that.
Presented with a problem, what does Masaru choose to do?
Punch him?
Yeah, exactly. Wow, how could you possibly have guessed?
To be fair, he does punch a lot, and it's great.
That's all he does, it's great. It actively improves the show every time that happens, even when the show's really bad, which these episodes are.
I remember when we first started Savers, you're like, well, he's only going to be doing that for the first couple of episodes. Nope, still doing it.
I'm
never going to stop. Needs to do it.
At the end of this episode and next episode, you're like, oh, okay, no, it's beginning. They're beginning to find reasons to take away him punching everybody.
Let me tell you, it doesn't stop.
No, that's good, but it's happening.
He will never not punch.
It's happening.
It's his thing, yo.
As we speak.
It's, yeah, for memory, it does not stop. And I think I was annoyed by it when I first watched it, but I don't know why.
Oh, you had no taste at all.
I think it's because I was like, but Frontier was so good.
Why aren't there any trains in this? I miss trains.
Why is the girl Digimon not, with any anatomy parts showing?
What?
Why is Sunflowmon not fan service?
Oh, right. Yeah, okay, I got it.
She loses all the time, so she must be the girl character.
She must be super crap. Oh, no, she is.
I feel so bad for Sunflowmon.
It's so awful. It's okay. She'll get like an evolution episode where she'll get slightly better, and then she'll lose every other.
I'm
thing
beginning to
afterwards.
worry because Fairymon didn't, like, even in her evolution episode.
But Frontier was specifically and specially bad.
For memory, I like her evolution episode, but that's because I found the evolution episode very relatable.
Okay.
Sort of.
Was it about Yoshi trying to exceed in a male-dominated industry?
No, she just has anxiety and inferiority complex.
Oh.
Which
See,
is
that's less compelling.
See, that's not really spoilers. But I guess, I mean, is it a male-dominated industry? Because
What, DATs, or do you mean programming?
DATs.
Well, think of... Oh, no, because you're right. She's got the two
She's got Mickey
others.
and Megumi, and before
But keep in mind,
Masaru
Mickey and
joined,
Megumi are somehow lower tier employees, even
they?
though they just
they're
sit
not,
around.
they're not field agents, but they sit around and do like the behind-the-scenes stuff. I would say that they might be higher up because they do the similar stuff to Samson does.
No, they don't. They just operate computers and stuff at people's orders.
I'm not sure if they're like on the lower level though. I just think they have a different role.
I feel like it seems like they would be, in the same way that like the two girls from Tamers had really nothing going on either.
Yeah, but they also didn't have Digimon.
True, these ones do, and they don't do anything.
They tried to hold Masaru
They
back
somehow
once.
they have administrative Digimon.
By the way, who do you think is the owner of the... I'm not sure we know his name. I think his name's Kamemon, but I'm not sure we
I
actually
don't
told
know,
name.
but you're right. Don't they both have Chessmon?
Yeah, they both have the Chessmon, yeah.
I guess the
Actually, they're Pawn
Turtle's
Chessmon.
independent.
Okay, you think he's just walking around, he's just hanging out?
I guess.
Okay, I was just curious
I
to
don't
what you
know.
thought about him. Because I love Kamemon.
Have we seen anyone else at DATS?
Have we?
I don't know. You tell me.
We have.
Okay, well, tell me. I don't remember.
No, it's a spoiler.
But you said we've seen them.
No, we've seen them, but it's a spoiler.
Is it the moms?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay. Either the moms or it's his dad's. But it would be weird if his dad's a problem with the moms. Which would explain why she can just walk in and be fine. I don't know.
I'm not going to... Even if you get it right, I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
Anyway, so Marukimon attacks and blows Masaru away. In the dub, there's something strange that I noticed. Marukimon calls them Digimon trainers. And I guess is because he wouldn't know what DATS is, presumably, unless he managed to find the campsite that the original DATS people were working at.
Which it is sort of implied he did, because it's destroyed. And
Well-
who else would have?
Well, in the flashback that we see in the next episode, we see a Saber Leomon that's attacked.
I guess, but we know this is like a lion-y kind of dude with his weird face thing. That's probably his evolution.
Also, we know that Saber Leomon's not going to do too well because...
Leomon's.
Yeah.
But if he's the bad guy, then it's fine if he dies.
Yeah.
It's probably Mercurimon's. Wait, no, Mercurimon's already...
No, they're both ultimate. They are not the same Digimon.
Whatever, okay.
So, yeah, he calls them Digimon trainers, and I found that weird. Like, I mean, what else would he call them?
Okay, what do you mean? They call them humans.
No, in the dub, he calls them Digimon trainers.
No, but when you said what else would he call them? He'd call them humans.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Because to him, the distinction is based entirely on species, where he doesn't care what they have names or
Yeah.
what they're about, and it doesn't matter what they are in relation to Digimon, because he doesn't see that. The thing about
This
this
is a bit too Pokemon for me.
Okay, here's the problem. And I'm going to go into this a lot, this entire episode, is that the show gives you a very, very clear idea of how much interaction humans and Digimon have had. And that amount of interaction is hilariously out of proportion with how Mercuriumon feels and how other people react to humans.
Yes.
And it's so absurd that it's unbelievable. Like, the story falls apart because no one would act this way based on the amount of information present.
Yes, no, that is correct, yes.
Okay, so I guess the question is it a plot hole, or is it something that will be explained?
I think it's explained. I think Savers, for memory, doesn't leave any open plot holes. I think everything is explained.
Are you sure?
Quite
Or
well.
were you unable to catch plot holes when you were younger because
No,
you
I wasn't
didn't
young.
care?
I was 20.
Okay, I'm sorry, that was 4 years ago. That's younger.
Yeah, young, but no, not young
I
as
just
in a
mean
child.
years ago, but it's a weird, awkward way of saying it. So you know what? I'm going to say the word younger because you were.
Yes,
I
but
made bad decisions when I was 20.
But when I was 20, I think that I was a lot brighter than I was when I was a kid and able to catch things that weren't explained.
Mate, you would watch an episode of Digimon not this week, but like 2 weeks ago, and I explained something to you, and you go, oh.
Okay, good point.
Don't tell me you caught all the plot holes in Digimon because you still liked it.
Okay, I'm going to put my hope in Savers and say that this being one of the best seasons, it's explained.
I don't think it will be, because these two episodes are just like, it's really bad.
I think they're okay, but I guess we'll get to that later on.
Okay, so we just need to establish, before they tell us how much interaction humans have had with Digimon, we'll establish that Mercuriumon thinks that humans are evil. He hates them.
Yes, and later on when we see Ikuto says that humans are also evil. It seems to be just a wildly accepted thing that we see people who live in the digital world or Digimon live in the digital world think about humans.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And
I sort of want to parcel this out so that we can get past the first part of this episode. We've actually gotten about 5 seconds into it. We haven't got to the part where Greymon attacks and his attack is just knocked out of the air because it doesn't matter.
Okay, so we'll just continue. Yeah, Marukimon beats Greymon, Sunflowermon, Galgamon. Chica says that Piyomon says that she'll protect Chica, and she goes to attack Marukimon and becomes an egg. And I was about to complain. I was about to say, why would she just do that? But then I realized that what she did was actually quite brave. She knew she was going to die, but she also
It's hard.
I'm used to calling, and this is really like
move on.
We
all know.
Piyomon.
Yes.
He knew 100% that he was going to die, but he also knew that Marukimon would leave Chica and his new friends alone if he went back with them. So he went back as an egg, because that's what Marukimon said, I want the egg. And that's all he came there for. It's all he came there to collect. He wasn't interested in anything else. He wasn't interested in fighting the humans. He wasn't interested in killing the humans. He was interested in the egg. And to be fair, the only reason he attacked Galgamon, and Geogreymon and Sunflowermon was because they kind of attacked him. And Masaru tried to punch him.
Look, I totally get that. I just came out on the other side of this, where I also recognize like that was the action that was essentially taken. But if you translate it to... Because when you go, stand back, Chica, I'll protect you, that sounds noble. When alternatively you say, stand back, Chica, I'll give him what he wants so he goes away, that sounds awful, like a bad idea.
Yeah, because it doesn't sound as brave as I'll protect you. But to be fair, Piyomon, he did protect Chica.
But also, there's no guarantee that plan would work. There's every possibility he gets the egg and goes, cool, kills everyone and then leaves.
Yes, so I think there's a lot of faith in that. But I don't think... It was so anticlimactic that he just ran into him and died.
I love the idea it's so anticlimactic, as in like, oh, I can't believe that worked. I will go now.
So I'm inclined to believe that I'm right in the way that he was fully knowing that he was going to die and fully aware that that's all Marukimon wanted.
Sure, I didn't.
Also, just a heads up, I'm calling him Marukimon, which is his dub name because...
No, it's Mercurymon.
Yeah, because even though it's Mercurymon, which has a different sound to
He's the legendary warrior of metal, man.
It's too similar to
He's the legendary warrior.
No, he's not.
Of metal. Mercurymon.
That's so metal. They're both green.
Wow, it's so similar. You're right. They
Same
must be
colour.
exactly the same.
They're both green and blue.
I like their big mirror shield and how one of them... and how they both wear big wolf heads.
Yeah, that too.
I love how Mercurymon was defined by the fact you could see his really human face underneath.
Okay, so Marukimon takes Piyomon back, and yeah, he goes back, and everything clears up. And then the next scene, Masaru's getting bandages, and all the other team members are also getting bandaged.
And he's like, I'm gonna get revenge on him 10 billion times.
Yeah, he's so grumpy.
That's so many punches.
I love Masaru so much because he's pretty salty that he lost.
So this entire episode, he seems really driven, and it like you could believe he goes, oh, I'm driven to, stop Aquilamon, which is what happens later, or I'm driven to do whatever. But underneath it all, you can just tell it's, oh my god, I'm so upset I lost that fight. I just need to win a fight to feel better about myself.
I think he's just embarrassed.
I really think he is.
It's like, I lost a fight.
Well, I'm the best of Street Fighter.
And this is what happened every time he loses a fight. And the same when he was fighting Toma in the boxing match.
He punched the hell out of him. That was great.
And he goes like, lost. Mad at myself because I lost. He's so cute. I love that about him though. Like it's part of his character, so I don't like have a huge problem with him like completely getting really salty every time he loses. To be fair, he's only lost like twice in the whole season. That's pretty alright.
Yeah, I mean, given 13 episodes in so far.
Yeah, he's managed to win basically every fight relatively easily.
Most of them have been because Greymon has attacked things.
Yeah, just like, oh, Greymon showed up. Oh, the Digimon went berserk. Never mind, Geogreymon has saved the day.
Yeah, but though at the same time, he's beat up more people than there have been episodes.
Yeah, because he beat up, 15 in the first episode?
Only in English.
Yeah.
It was 12 in Japanese for some reason.
It's still as many. Well, no, he also beat up the entire gym.
Bullies.
And the entire gym that Hayase was working at. We should start counting how many people Masaru beats up, and as opposed to how many Digimon he beats up.
Well, he only kind of punches the Digimon like once, and it's cool, but he doesn't really beat them up. The only one he ever really beat up was Peckmon.
Yeah, and Agumon.
Partially, but Agumon was fine.
Yeah, he was like...
Peckmon got beaten.
Yeah, he still wanted to fight, though.
Messed up.
He wanted to protect Chica. It was cute. Masaru's mad, and Thomas says that he's a sore loser, and then asks if he felt the difference in power firsthand. And Masaru's like, no, could beat him. He's so salty and so cute.
But then they're all like, oh no, but this new Digimon's an ultimate. There's nothing we can do about that. We've only been doing this whole thing on a government level for years, and we have no recourse to an ultimate Digimon at all. We are the worst branch of the Japanese military ever.
I think that's because maybe only child and adult level Digimon have come through.
So what? They know ultimates exist.
Yes.
So wouldn't they have prepared?
Maybe they just didn't think that they would ever come over.
They've had years, and they knew they existed.
Masaru and Thomas start arguing because, of course they do. That's basically what happens in the majority of episodes. And also what happens in every other episode is that Yoshino tells them to stop fighting, and Satsuma comes up and says that Toma is right. Murukimon is a lot stronger than them. Kudamon says that Murukimon was a forest king in the digital world before. Toma suggests that he wants to destroy the real world.
This is a vast leap of logic. Oh, so he showed up and he took an egg. He must want to destroy the planets.
Yeah, we don't actually know what his intentions are, even from the second episode this week either. We just know that he wanted the egg, isn't too fond of humans, but also doesn't like being attacked.
I have a fairly strong idea of what's going on, and I think it's fascinating. And I think it's a really clever, not deconstruction, but a clever different angle on a Digimon story, I think. And if it's what I think it is, then it's very clever. Or if it's not what I think it is, then it sucks. Because what I think they're doing is they're setting you up as the viewer to be like, oh yeah, obviously that's what Mercurymon is doing. He's going to take over the real world and the digital world because that's what every Digimon villain does.
Yes.
But Tama doesn't know that.
No.
So Tama is pulling this out of nowhere, and it's a thing you'd only say if you'd watched tons of Digimon.
Yes, and I know we were just talking about this and how I say, oh yeah, I didn't notice that. Yeah, I literally just took his word for it. Say, oh, I guess that's what he wants.
So
because I'm the mindless viewer. I'm the viewer who says, oh, what is this? The anime just gave me a bit of information. That must be correct.
So,
the character who's saying that must be correct. But you're right. He is just pulling this out of nowhere.
So Tama has this. Mercurymon has not indicated in any way that's what he wants to do.
No.
And then next episode, I want to skip forward just because I want to have this conversation
yes,
now.
Fair, yeah.
Next episode, he's holding the egg. And he says, wait, no, that's this episode. Later in this episode, he's holding the egg and he goes, oh, this egg's infected with evil. And the egg hatches and and Peckmon will say something like, oh, I got to find Chica and stuff. He goes, oh, that's a representation of the evil that he's concerned about.
Evil, yeah.
So what I think is happening, and what the whole story really is a big misunderstanding. The humans think the Digimon are aggressive and want to take over the real world, so they are defending themselves. The Digimon, especially Mercurymon, who is in charge, thinks the humans are evil, thinks they're invaders because of the previous party that came in, and because of the connections they are building with Digimon. So he's of the opinion the humans are going to come and take over the digital world and cause bad stuff for them.
Yes.
So they're both defending themselves from each other. And if they just had a reasonable conversation, this would all stop.
But I thought you hated that in entertainment.
I hate when that... Yeah, I do. I think that they should have that... Because they could have had that conversation when he just showed up.
Yeah.
And they could have had that conversation with the owl when it showed up for the egg as well.
Yes.
And the problem is that no character even thinks of it. No character stops and asks, hey, what are you doing here? And it's awful.
You know what we need for this situation?
Now,
Taichi from Digimon Adventure in the epilogue.
Yeah, diplomat.
The diplomat, the ambassador for the digital world and the human world relations. Because we need that. We need someone to say, so, welcome to the real world, Murukimon. Can I just ask, why are you here? Do you mean us harm? Oh, I just want this egg back because it belongs to me, and I would like this Digimon egg because humans are evil. Oh, why do you think humans are evil? They came into our town, like our real world, like our real world, not your real world, our world, and started attacking things and like were taking data from trees and stuff, and it was just really, really horrifying. And they picked up one of my babies and they started poking it because they didn't realize it was a living thing.
Yeah.
Like, just, yeah, you're right. Explain, like,
you can talk it out.
You can talk this out.
So the thing is, I don't like the idea of like, oh, it's a big misunderstanding. That's everything.
Yeah.
But it's so much more interesting than the traditional Digimon. I'm going to take over all the world because ruling is my motivation, despite having no good reason for it and no clearly reasonable like administrative skills. Here's the thing: if like, who wants to take over the world? Vamdemon. what good would Vamdemon be at ruling anything? What at best he's a warlord, but he has some magical followers who he never has to feed, and there's no logistics to it at all. He doesn't know anything about human culture. Why would he want to rule the world?
Well, to be fair, in the original version, Murukimon wants to destroy the real world. In the dub, he wants to, this is just what Tom is guessing. In the dub, he wants to rule both the real world and the digital world, which is basically on par with what, as you said, what Vamdemon wanted. He wanted to control both worlds because, I don't know, he's a baddie, and baddies like to control stuff.
The fact that they can't get that straight makes me think I'm correct in that, like, they're really doing this to misdirect you, and it's not actually a good guess. Because when Tom guessed, I think, it has to do with the 7 deadly sins, that was accurate. They didn't change it to, I think it might be heavy emotions or anything. No, they kept it. And I think that when they're like, oh no, this is probably the bad guy's motivation despite us having no evidence, it's to mislead you.
Well, also remember, when you're watching the English dub, remember that Jeff Nimoy had already knew what was happening at the end because Digimon Savers had already come out and he already knew everything that was going to happen.
It kills me that they didn't know that the kids were Japanese and they were like angry when they found out.
In Adventure. Yeah.
We thought we could get away with calling them American. We really thought we'd get away with it.
And they just
so funny.
Oh no, Jen, I just zoomed in on Japan. Can't cover this up. Oh, it's our home.
Oh my god, it's really funny.
Oh, we're going to Japan now. Oh.
We're going to my favorite place in Japan, Heighton View Terrace.
And they actually have to say Odaiba. We're like, fine.
Just imagine
Odaiba.
walking in that day, getting the footage and looking at it and being like, oh no.
We made a bad.
All of that effort for nothing. But did he work on the movie with that bit you hate to Mimi Love Joe?
He actually hated that movie. Like he did work on it, but it is the reason why he left halfway through 02. He actually had huge creative differences about combining those 3 movies into one.
Oh, okay.
Because he wanted to. From memory, he wanted to release them as they originally came out.
It'd be way funnier if you were like, he left because he got his way, he got exactly what he wanted in combining them all and making Willis his favorite character, the main character in the whole thing, but he was just bitter about the whole thing.
See, having actually analysed this and analysed Hurricane Touchdown, which was kind of on the lower end of my enjoyment of covering Digimon.
That's generous.
Yeah, I actually think that the Digimon movie was better in the way that it actually took parts of that. Even though it took out the existence of the adventure kids in Hurricane Touchdown, it also made it shorter and there was less fluff that was lying around. Sure, they removed some of the aspects of the plot.
And I know what you're getting at. Because the Hurricane Touchdown section was shorter, that made it better. I get that. But do you remember when our war game was totally caused by Willis?
Yes, I also remember that.
Do you remember how Willis was the reason for everything? And
Willis also got his Digi-Egg at the same time Tai and Kari got the Koromon Digi-Egg, despite him seeming like maybe Tai's age, but then when he shows up being around Hikari's age?
Mate, who's Willis? When are they gonna show us Willis? I'm sitting there through all of Adventure. Come on, where's Willis? Where's Wallace?
And I want to remind you that halfway through 02 you were still saying, is he just said Willis?
Dude, I forgot that they keep freaking him up.
Yeah, in the few episodes around where the movie came out, he referenced Willis a few times. They just shoved it in a line.
Bad.
To be fair, a war game's the best.
Willis is one of the most important characters in all of Digimon because he makes 3 of the movies happen.
And he replaces the random Australian friend of Izzy's.
Oh my god.
What?
What if the actual big bad guy in Try is Willis?
Oh my god, but that makes Hurricane Touchdown canon. That will upset half of the Digimon fandom, but also make the other half very happy because there has been the argument of how canon is Hurricane Touchdown.
Well, I think you have to believe that the ending of 02 never happened because no one knows what Digimon are, and everyone's meant to have them now.
Everyone starts to have them now, according to the epilogue.
Sure, but no one knows what they are.
According to the CD drama, the people who would have them now are Joe's brothers and Daisuke's sister.
Okay, but Digimon aren't secret, so why doesn't anyone know what they are? And more people people have them?
Well, I think some of them say, hey, they're Digimon, right? So they know them by name, but you're right. They should remember them. I remember that time that the Fuji building was blown up by a big giant vampire.
Do you remember when we saw these exact kids fighting that vampire?
And then float up in the sky?
Remember when we saw all of that? Remember when they were fighting, like, the devil and we saw it in the sky?
Look, Try needs to have 5 minutes where they just say, where they just have, like, the government organization say, oh yeah, we wiped the entire population's memory.
Some, like, asshole walks out with a badge, is like, it's DATS. Like, flashes everyone.
And then Yoshino jumps to a different dimension.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Rio, and with Rio.
God, this is the worst theory ever.
What if Rio comes back?
I'll die.
I believe he was actually given the power to transport between the different
I'd
dimensions.
prefer Willis.
Do you hate Rio that much?
He's just so boring. And the worst part about him, right, is not that he's boring, it's that he's inconsistent. I cannot go back to the real world because the super evil Digimon is stuck inside my Digimon. And we have to stay here for everyone's sake. Okay, you can get back to the real world now. All right, we're going!
Also, he is a small purple dragon. He's my friend, and I love him.
So the only thing you can guess is that he was lying to make it not as embarrassing that he was stuck.
Yeah, I wish they actually said that. Like, they had him thinking, like, oh man, I can actually go home. I really wanted to go home this entire time, but I just didn't know how.
I was embarrassed, so I said I couldn't.
I just wanted to look cool in front of Ruki.
Now we can. Also, how can you merge with the Digimon when the big evil Digimon's inside it?
Yeah, that's never explained, and I wish they did explain it. That'd have been great.
I think they might have just forgotten.
Well, to be fair, they didn't have to mention it because not everyone played Anode and Cathode and
But they
the
mentioned
later
it.
games.
They did mention that there was a big evil Digimon in there.
Oh, they did. That's right.
That's
Oh,
why
no.
he couldn't go back to the real world. That's what I just said.
You're right. They literally did say that, didn't they?
And then they forgot about it, and then he merges with
Not
it.
in the dub. They do not say it in the dub. They just said he's too powerful, but they didn't explain why he's too powerful.
Okay, but I know they did mention it.
Yeah, that's awkward. Do
God.
you want to continue with
Tamers
Savers?
isn't as good as everyone says it is.
I think Savers might be better than Tamers.
Oh, I doubt it.
But I know Atmon's better than Tamers.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I think Try's better than Tamers.
Atmon is what I like to call consistently fun to watch, and that's better than all of Digimon can say.
V-Tamer, but that's not watching, that's
Yeah,
reading.
exactly.
But still.
Because you can argue about the merits of plot and theming and stuff, but Atmon's consistently fun to watch, and that's amazing, because Digimon sucks to watch.
Because never have you ever said, hey, do you want to watch Atmon? Or, hey, do you want to watch Atmon tonight while we're already recording stuff?
I want to watch it now because I want to know what happens because they've set up a compelling plot, which no Digimon show has ever done before, because the plot of every Digimon show is, God, this bad guy is really powerful. I wonder how long it will take us to evolve and beat them. Apparently, it'll take us 50 episodes.
To be fair, it has been the same bad guy since the episode 1.
Yes, but the interesting thing about Atmon is the quest is not, how can we get strong enough to beat that guy who we've met before? It's, okay, we need to somehow find this thing. Oh, it's entrenched in society. There's so many other problems going on. There are questions asked, there's mysteries posed, and you're like, I don't understand how this goes. And I've complained recently about how that mystery, hopefully, I'm really afraid it might not be resolved, but I think it might be.
Look, I have enough faith in this show that I think it will. Also, there are so many people who just say Atmon's bad, and then you ask them, hey, how much have you
It's
seen?
the concept.
And they either say that they haven't seen any of it,
Yeah.
or they said they've seen like the half of the first episode.
Well, screw them, I guess. I don't know. Like, that's you go, okay, well, your opinion's irrelevant then. That's fine. You've committed to being like misinformed, and that's fine.
I feel like the premise of Atmon hurts.
Ill-informed.
It's like how many people of our age will watch it, because
I
it
think
sounds
that's
bad.
true.
The premise sounds bad. I
But
was like, I'm going to watch this and support it because I like Digimon, but I might not enjoy it because I may just be too old. I think I'm like, what, I'm just growing out of Digimon. And then Atmon came on, like, oh no, this is actually really good.
The problem is, though, the premise is actively harmful to attracting viewership, but you need that premise to make the show initially interesting, because the fact that they're apps is really important and cool. It's way better than them just being weird monsters for no reason.
And they also have the thematic reasons for how they fight.
It is so much more interesting to see how Microsoft Word attacks someone in a digital space than just a dinosaur.
You might like Young Hunters.
I doubt it. It's Digimon. And it was Digimon before they grew up. Because there was like a time with anime where it's just not self-aware at all.
Atmon is so self-aware.
I'm not super self-aware, but like all of Digimon, you can tell is like super not self-aware. Because I think it was written by people who were just doing it for the paycheck and just like, oh, we gotta just get this out the door now. Oh my god, I don't care. Oh, that's just stupid monsters. And we don't care because it's a 9 to 5 and it's not a labor of love in any way.
Yeah.
Like, Frontier feels like that, absolutely. It feels like there's no thought put into it. Oh, whatever, just put it on the screen. The kids will buy the toys anyway. Whatever.
See, meanwhile, I think definitely Try and definitely Atmon, but I think even Savers might have been written or partially written by people who had watched Digimon when they were younger, maybe, and who have love for the show. Because I feel like, and I've said this before, Savers feels like it's written with love and adoration for the original season.
I'm not sure. Because Savers also really feels like, oh man, who needs that old stuff? We're cool and edgy now. We punch Digimon and don't wear goggles because goggles are for losers.
Yeah, I feel like it's... And Digimon had this thing where they, after the first 2 seasons and maybe even the third, they tried to sort of rewrite what a Digimon show was. And this made a lot of people who loved Digimon not want to watch Digimon anymore.
Savers is that period when you're like 14 or 15, and the one you went through, which is everything I liked when I was younger is for children, and I can't like it anymore.
Yeah, but Savers is really cool.
I went through that one with wrestling, and then I'm back.
Yeah, I was like, I'm too cool for Digimon, but I watched it secretly.
Because there was no way to watch wrestling, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how you ended up watching Digimon that way, but there was like just no way.
I think I just watched AMVs and clips on YouTube because that's all I could or little clips that I could find throughout the internet because my internet was bad and all I can download was these very small, terrible little clips.
This is how you know all the lyrics to all of Linkin Park's songs, even though you don't know, like you just never listen to them.
Yeah, Numb's a strong one, but also because that was in a Gundam Wing commercial.
Yeah, crawling in my skin. These wounds, they will not heal.
Yeah, but anyway, so I guess that was all relevant in the way that we were talking about bad guys and their motivation.
I'm so desperate not to talk about this show. Like, I've covered the bit that I'm interested in, which is the, like, I think I know where the show is going. And in so doing, I don't think the show will surprise me. And so, like, there's only, like, one thing it can do to surprise me, and that was explain how time works in this show. Or...
Digital World in this season is 1-to-1, I'm pretty sure. And I don't think it's relevant to the plot.
No, I don't mean, like, how time works. Isn't like I joked earlier about time going backwards. I mean,
sorry.
In the sense that, like, it has given you a time frame for where everything happens, and then the way all the Digimon react is nonsense. We'll talk about it at the beginning of next episode, because they talk about the dad and everything.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get there. So the military man shows up. Oh, no, before that. Chica cries and says, "No, stop! Why do you have to fight Digimon? I don't understand!"
And everyone just ignores her because she's a child, and I'm like...
Because 2 weeks ago, a chicken blew up a McDonald's.
Yes.
Like, she doesn't understand that, like, the Digimon are actively harmful, because we've seen it.
Or the Jomojimon that just started to...
Robbing banks,
and also was drilling through the ground and might have killed someone.
My favorite thing about this is imagining this in another context. Because you think about it, right? DATS is a government agency.
Yes.
The only reason she feels like she can do this is because A, her brother is there, and B, it's a children's show for children about fantasy creatures. So a child feels more in place there. There's no reason in the world Chica should have been allowed in this room. But she's here now. So what would happen if you changed this government agency, which we learn very soon is connected to the military, to a different government agency, the military? And now let's change country. It's America. And now... imagine this same girl has this exact same reaction, but she's before American generals. She's like, I don't like this Afghanistan war. Why do you have to fight people? It's just nonsense.
She'd also she'd be protesting, and she'd probably have pepper spray and be forcefully dragged out, even if she was peaceful protesting.
They're just like, okay, I know you're making a point, and that's fine.
No, that's just what happens.
I kind of agree with you. I don't think the generals carry pepper spray on them, but...
Well, no, they would have security guards that do.
Yeah, I think it's funny that her plan is to cry and ask them to stop fighting, and like as if that might even have a shot. It's nonsense.
Look, I'm
I
kind of glad
she's a small girl,
that
But
they ignored
still-
her.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, of course they would. Like, I see where she's coming from, but the big, tough captain dude's just going to go, okay, that is a small child. I'm going to go back to doing my job while, yeah, as you said, the giant chicken gets angry at the price of the chicken
Big
McRib.
Mac. No, they go, chicken nuggets? Oh, my cousins! No. So,
You should have seen what he did to the KFC.
oh god. So the
What about
military,
the Red Rooster?
like this military minister or whatever comes in, and he's really short, and he's like, I always knew DATS was a bad idea. You're meant to be controlling Digimon, and you're not doing a good job. So you know what? We're just gonna disband you because that makes sense.
Did you realize that there's something weird about the way he was drawn compared to the way the other characters were drawn that made him not look like he belonged in this show?
Because he was drawn like a boring government man.
And I kind of like that. Like, you can see that it's different from this
Also, he's super short.
this colourful, fun shonen anime where they fight their Digimon, they fight with their best friends, the Digimon, and then they punch the Digimon. And then we have this very, like, normal, regular anime-looking dude. He's kind of realistic in his appearance. Like, we've got Satsuma, and his, like, chin makes no sense. And we've got Toma, who, like, his chin could also probably cut people, so it doesn't make sense
It's not even so
either.
much about design. It's like everything's brightly colored and with big, thick outlines on it. Like
Yes.
everything's intentionally cartoonish. And then there's this dude who's just drawn totally normal.
And I really like that. I like how it's just showing this contrast between there are other things in this world besides Digimon and the Digimon organization, and there's also the government who is boring and is just the government who
And
owns
Masaru's
them.
like, oh, who's this guy? What are you doing here, shorty? Stop trying to disband our Digimon club. And
Masaru's
his
so
mom
mad.
has to be like, I'm so sorry. This is my child. Please, just like, don't arrest him, please. Don't get him fired. He knows not what he says.
And then Masaru says, why are you apologizing to this jerk?
And like, if he was a stuck-up Japanese businessman or government man, you'd think he would take it more as like a blow to his honor or something. He's like, no, just after the captain, I hate you so much. Like, disband your organization.
Well, I don't know how this is in, like, culture-wise in Japan, but how do adults react to children speaking? Because that's what Masaru is. Masaru is a 14-year-old boy. He's basically saying, old man, you're not the boss of me.
Yeah, but he's also an employee of this branch of the military. So you'd think he would be like, what's the word?
My word, young man.
Discharged.
Yeah, I guess that too.
Like, essentially fired.
But the point about this scene is that the children, aka the main characters, are ignored, and that is not really like in Digimon. Usually, the focus of every scene is the main characters and what they are doing. But in this scene, they are relatively ignored. Chika is just completely ignored.
Good.
People look at Masaru, but he's just kind of like, okay, I'm still going to dissolve the whole organization. Never mind.
Yeah, there's the one thing I did notice that was a difference between Japanese and English is that
Yeah.
the captain is much more like, oh, what are you doing here? Like he's not like, oh yes sir, like respectful. It's like, oh yeah, okay.
His tone of voice is still not happy in the original.
Well, it wouldn't be happy, but it was more like before it was like, yes sir, I understand. Where this was like, oh, it's you.
Yeah, because it's, again, I think it's that cultural thing of you must respect your elders, I guess.
I don't think it has anything to do with that. It's not that he's
Also, your
older.
superiors.
Yeah, that's way more to do with that.
And you don't show sass to your superiors, which they should have told Masaru off for doing, but I guess also the whole children speaking thing, just ignore them, I guess.
So Masaru is really angry that DATS is getting disbanded. No, sorry, he's really angry, and then Agumon says, yeah, it sucks DATS is getting disbanded, or has been disbanded. And he goes, no, I just hate losing.
And he's like, I just wanted to fight Marukimon and beat him.
So the...
Also, sorry, I'm really sorry, but I really want to mention one of my favourite parts in this whole episode, where Masaru is gradually throwing bigger, like he's skipping a rock, and then he just throws a bigger rock, which goes plonk, and then he throws a bigger rock, then he throws a bigger rock. He just gradually throws bigger rocks, and I believe Ellie Vork drew some fan art quite a while ago that she relinked to me, and it's her saying, where does Masaru get all these rocks? And then she's drawn Masaru carrying all these rocks, and Agumon saying, Aniki, what are we gonna do with all these rocks?
I need to hurl them.
Yeah, he wants to throw them in angry reacts only.
So we cut to the digital world where the owl is talking to Gotsumon. if I recall
Yes, that's
correctly.
Gotsumon, yeah.
And he's like, I found this egg with Ikuto, and we get to choose what to do with it. And Gotsumon's like, nah, bro, it's Mercurimon's egg. And Mercurymon says, the egg's full of evil. Then it hatches, and Puremon's like, I must find Chica because I'm a crazy person, and refuses to forget even when struck by lightning.
Oh, sorry. Just one bit. When Murukimon's holding the egg, he's specifically saying, no, this is the humanness, the human evilness is in this egg. This horrible humanity that's in this egg.
Correct.
In the dub, he says it's ready. It's almost ready to hatch. There is no mention of the evilness in this egg.
It's because they want to mislead you about what his motivations are. They want you to think he's there to take over the world, not because he just doesn't like humans.
Okay.
That's what I think it is.
I guess, and now knowing that Jeff Nimoy already knew about the rest of Savers and how it was going, I guess I can also see, maybe. I don't actually remember how this pans out, though.
So and then he attacks Aquilamon. He's like, well, I guess, I can't make you forget, so I'll just egg you again. And the attack randomly makes Aquilamon evolve for some reason. And then it smashes through the wall, and it's really silly. This whole scene was a joke.
Especially with how Piemon's eyes are.
Yep.
And just as something I noticed in the dub, and this might just be me, but I feel like in the original, Piemon seemed a lot more out of it. Like, she seemed a lot more in control of his actions in the dub, where he just was like, Chica, I must find Chica. Where is Chica? I told her I'd protect her. And in the original, he's just, well, Chica. He seems like he's just woken up from a nap.
Which is actually more in line with how they behave.
Yes.
That makes more sense to be switched off than to be switched on.
Also, how come when he hatched out of the egg this time, he became Piemon straight away and not Puamon?
And then why would they turn to Aquilamon when attacked? Wouldn't they die?
was
Why would you
fight or-
get stronger?
It was fight or flight, and he chose flight and became a bird. Also, maybe he just shoots evolution beams out of his arms.
What a crap attack.
My attack obliterates my enemies. In my attack, I play a song and they don't digivolve. I call it bye-bye Digimon, bye-bye. What does your attack do? I make them evolve.
And be stronger.
It's very useful. Also, I make them disregard their previous evolution paths because I don't like Birdramon
But then they'll go back onto it because for no reason.
Because Garudamon is better than Sylphimon, I guess.
I mean, Aquilamon makes more sense to go into Garudamon, I think.
Yeah, no, I like Aquilon.
But at the same time, like, why just veer off slightly? Why?
I'm disappointed that Jeff Nimoy didn't make Garudamon say, Chica, I can feel your love. It's making me strong.
The problem is that it couldn't.
I wish it did.
So Masaru is like playing Taiko Drum Master.
It's so cute.
When he sees that Aquilamon is like attacking a ship on the news. And it's weird because Aquilamon's going out there saying, I'm looking for Chica, and it's like attacking them. Chica magically sees Aquilamon on TV and goes, that's Piomon, I just know.
Okay, I think that's meant to imply that her Digisoul does match his Piomon's.
How could that possibly matter? If there's an image on
Digi-Destiny.
TV of a bird.
Because Digidestiny.
If you were nearby, fine, there's like an aura, you sensed it, you heard their voice. There's an image on TV.
Jay, the Digidestiny must not be stopped. Digimon rule, Digimon rock.
By the way, this is a core element of the episode. The fact that she magically recognizes this Digimon as a different Digimon that looks totally different, besides the fact that it happens to be a bird.
Why doesn't she call her Pua-chan anymore? Or Poo-chan. Yeah, that was right.
Yeah.
Why doesn't she call him Poo-chan?
I don't know. It's a good question. But the point is
I want to know.
The fact that this magical recognition is central to how the episode goes as well.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, fine.
But I took it just to mean that their Digisoul is compatible and that gives them the Digidestiny and they're able to detect each other, or she's just able to know because they're meant to be.
Stupid. That doesn't make any sense.
Also, it was in the script.
With me, right? If you wore a big, like a wig of long hair and then I was faced away and then there was a photo of me, of like just the back of me with this big long hair wig, and you looked at it, you're certain you would know it was me?
Well, I've never seen with you with hair, so no.
That's what I'm saying. This is not a small pink bird. This is a giant brown one with a weird helmet and a different name. And it's on TV. It's more or less the same thing.
Also, maybe she heard him say Chica.
No, that didn't happen. Because they would have said, look, he said my name. Instead it was, that's Piomon.
At least she calls him Piomon and not Aquilamon.
Yes, it's all right, except you just identified that they should be saying Puamon.
No, Poo-chan.
Poo-chan. Or like,
Well, to be fair, she called him Peckmon when he evolved, but didn't continue to call him Pooh-chan then,
but also
which
like
I would have liked.
Masaru calls him Aquilamon for some reason.
Does he? I thought he
Yeah,
called...
no,
Does he? I
yeah.
swear he calls him Peckmon.
Pretty sure he doesn't. So Masaru is convinced. He goes, "No one can beat a Digimon but us." I'm pretty sure what he's saying is that, but what I'm hearing is me, Masaru. Only I beat Digimon.
Would you be surprised? Like, let's be real. I feel like he's just saying me.
So he's standing, and I mentioned this to you beforehand. He's standing in his casual clothes, in his street clothes. He's wearing blue pants, so you know it's different. Thomas shows up in a boat.
Are you missing the best scene with the fisherman friend?
That hasn't happened yet.
Oh no, you're right.
Come on, May.
Oh yeah, you're right. Now he fights him. You're right.
So Thomas shows up on a boat,
I just want to get to that best part of the show. Sorry.
and he hops in to go deal with the bird, and then it cuts away, cuts back to them, and he's in his uniform now,
Well-
which involves changing his pants. So, which
Yes.
involves Toma had to bring him his uniform, and then Masaru had to change in front of him because
Yes.
the boat's a small space. And then you have to ask the question, even if that happened, the uniform adds nothing. The uniform is not in any way beneficial to
It's more
him
dramatic.
actually doing his job. So why bother?
It's actually easier to move in.
It's
maybe?
not.
I don't know. Maybe
He's been street fighting in his other clothes. He's fine.
I'm going to lay down how this scene went. Masaru's like sitting in the speedboat. He's like, yeah, let's go fight them. He's like bouncing up and down.
Thomas
He's-
like, you have to get changed.
Yes, he's like, you have to get changed. And Masaru's like, I've always fought in this outfit. I don't care. I'm gonna go fight him. I have to fight him. And then I'm gonna punch him. And then Marukimon shows up. I'm gonna punch him. I'm gonna punch him a lot. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna win. And he's bouncing up and down like a little child because that's essentially what Masaru is. And then Tomo just shakes his head and he's like, it's the rules. And he just stops the speedboat and crosses his arms and just says, get change or I'm going to just leave you out in the water because you probably can't swim.
God damn it.
And I'm Austrian and I'm part of the swim
Why did you
team
even pick
because
him up?
Olympics.
So there's
then he
Yoshi
gets
shows up too, and
Yep.
Sunflowermon's there and is really useless. And
I'm sad about how useless Sunflowermon is.
Aquilamon is going around saying like, Chica, I gotta find Chica, but its mouth isn't moving, and it has the sort of echo of thoughts, but Masaru totally hears it. So
I got the impression that he was actually saying it and not thinking it.
no, it's clear that he was meant to be saying it.
Yeah.
But all of the indicators when you're looking at it clearly makes it look like he's thinking it. Like, it's only through the context of Masaru's reaction. It's like that scene in Frontier when they just have that telepathic communication for no reason.
Oh no. I
It
remember
reminds me of
that.
that.
That was horrible.
So, Masaru like he appears to hear its thoughts. And there's like a conversation at DATS where they go, oh, it's Aquilamon's signal. It just matches Peckmon exactly. So it's clearly the same Digimon. Even though Aquilamon's digital signal would be that of an Aquilamon, it would not be the same.
Maybe it's like a fingerprint.
It changed shape.
Well, I changed shape from when I was first born, but I'm pretty
You
sure
grew, but you didn't change shape. You didn't become a car, May.
Yes, but I also didn't have the shape of a 24-year-old at that point. I didn't... Jay, do you need me to explain to you how puberty works?
But May, you didn't get new hands. Your
Yes.
hands just got bigger.
Jay, I wasn't born with breasts.
I know, but your chest just got bigger. You just got larger. That's what happened. This thing became a bunch of data and then became a different bird.
Okay, another way. Okay, fetuses.
Okay.
I think with fetuses, one of the first things to develop, and I'm not a biologist here. Yes, I said that incorrectly on purpose.
Okay.
Okay, I'm pretty sure our fingertips are the first things to develop as fetuses, right?
Sure. And then from then on...
So do the fingerprints.
Sure.
Yes.
And then for the rest of your life, you just get bigger.
Except, depending on which of the many ways that the genitals can go, they change shape. Hey, but the fingerprints still the same.
But that... No.
When we're all fetuses,
Wait, no, you can't give me that. That was predetermined from the moment that it was put together.
it hasn't developed yet, though.
But who cares? You're
I'm
just
just
getting
saying.
bigger. You're growing.
I know, but the fingerprints are there before anything else develops.
So, how does that in any way have any relevance to Digimon?
My body does not look like a fetus.
So what? You just got bigger.
I'm not a fetus, though. I didn't just get bigger. I
You did.
grew.
No, you did. That's true.
Holes opened up. My ear holes opened up.
Yes, you grew.
I have functioning ears.
You grew, May.
I'm pretty sure I didn't have some organs back then.
I know, but you grew.
Yes, but also things were added to me.
May, you started off as like 2 zygotes. I get that.
I didn't have hair, Jay.
May, I get it, but you just grew, and that's it. It's not the same thing as when you become an actual different entity.
I don't know. I'm not a fetus.
May, a cat becomes an angel. Are you telling me that somehow Gatomon has the same fingerprint sprint as an angel. She doesn't. She has paws.
Actually, you don't actually know what she has under her gloves. She could take off her gloves and just have a
weird
huge human
hands.
hand. Like
That's super messed up.
This is how Try Chapter 5 ends. She takes off the paw, and all she has is this like weirdly like large yowie hand.
I think that I assume that the canon is that she had just the fuzz on her paws is in the shape of gloves.
Wait, she has taken off the glove before.
What?
When she says, and this is how I got the scar.
Oh my god, she did!
She lowers it so she could still have human fingers. She has like these like it's all white cat paw.
It is.
Until here, and then she's got horrific, terrifying, long human fingers, and that's why she wears the gloves.
Like in Sonic Forces.
I need to buy that game.
No, you don't. It's gonna be so bad.
I know, it's gonna be great. You're gonna make your own OC. It's great.
You should look at there's Persona 5 gear there's a bunch of video game reference gear. The problem with the Persona 5 gear in the pictures they show is that the hands are just skin.
Oh no.
You know how like Sonic has gloves?
Yes.
So his hands don't look weird?
Horrifying.
Yeah. So they're skin color, so they're just big human hands.
I just want to see Morgana as a Sonic the Hedgehog character.
No, it's not like that.
Oh.
It's just Joker's like coat. But it's weird because Joker has big red gloves. They don't give them.
That's sad. I want Futaba Sonic.
So
to be best friends with Amy.
we're in the middle of this weird fight, and Masaru goes in his head. Oh, that's Peckmon. I'm sure he remembers me, and is immediately blown out of the water, having totally got that wrong. Masaru wakes up. Toma is still asleep, and the old man is there. I'm like, oh, of course, the old man's. No one yet has seen the old man.
He might be a figment of Masaru's imagination.
No, Agumon sees him.
A joint figment.
Sure, that's what happened.
Because Digi-Destiny.
It is destiny, I'm pretty sure, but it has nothing to do with that. And so he's just like, tell me good advice, old man. It's like, no, I can beat you in a fight.
He
does.
But can I tell you what happens in the English version?
You don't have to.
It's a little warm, isn't it?
It's the Digivice guy!
Maybe we should ask him for Digi advice.
That's strong.
That's solid. That's so solid. This line is the type of pun that I live for in Digimon. I love the terrible, awful puns in Digimon.
Oh,
they're great.
To a limit.
Will not be No Izzy Tusk.
So Aquilmon then goes and attacks a power plant, and so it goes from being like I'm looking for Chica and things are getting in my way to like I'm just being actively destructive.
Yeah.
And I began to theorize that maybe like in the search for Chica, it came to the conclusion that causing destruction would get her attention, which is an idea, but then it becomes very clear later that like no, it's not doing that. It's just it's just gone crazy for no reason, like for no good reason at all. The old man sasses Masaru and then beats him in a street fight in one move. It's amazing.
With his fishing pole.
I only noticed at this point in the show that that Masaru got his uniform, and I had to rewind. So Masaru goes over to the power plant and he's climbing the ladder to try and fight the bird. Because he's talking about how he wants to beat the bird, but it seems obvious that he's just upset that he lost to Mercuriumon.
Yes, and he says that his manliness is at stake. So I think his pride is so hurt by this one loss that he says, "Look, my manliness is at stake. I have to win again. I have to do this."
So he gets clonked on the head with some metal, and he falls down, and he evolves Agumon, but like there's no music, so it's super weird.
Well, we always know when there's no music, that won't be the winning evolution. We know that it's not the only thing that's going to finish the fight.
So then Aquilmon evolves into Garudamon for some reason.
Because he can feel Chica's love.
And at this point I ask the question, well, so why was the Aquilmon not Birdramon, given, all of the show's history?
Aquilmon looks better. Also, Aquilmon looks more like Poochan.
Well, fine, but it's off Peckmon, so just do the thing. It's a Digimon show. We know. If you are someone who grew up with Digimon, right, and you go, oh, Peckmon, I know that Digimon evolved into, what the hell is that? Like, if you haven't done all the research, you just like the show.
Also, I would say it's because Aquilmon is more of a masculine-looking one, but to be
What do you mean? Birdtramon's plenty masculine-looking.
But also, Garuda, I'm pretty sure, is a female thing, right?
You're thinking of Gerudo. That's from Zelda.
No, Garuda, I'm pretty sure, is a feminine thing in general. But
I don't know
anyway,
what you're talking
the thing is, I always took Aquilmon to be more masculine because Birdramon was a girl and Hawkmon was a bloke in 02.
I think Peckmon's the least masculine of all of them, and that's a boy.
And he is tough, he tries to be tough. He's great.
Chica shows up, makes her weird, creepy face.
It's not that creepy. Jay made me go.
It's fine. It's fine. No, you don't have to go into it. The point is, I'm so like, it's late. It's late. I'm trying to go, and you are slowing us down.
Chica is just not well animated, to be fair.
So she's like, "Hey, Garurumon, hey, Peckmon, I see you. You know, we can hang out now." And Aquilamon's like, or Garurumon goes, "Chica, gotta find Chica," and then goes nuts, and it was all pointless. And Chica made things way, way worse because Garurumon just now goes super nuts.
Chica didn't actually have to be there except to raise the stakes for Masaru's evolution.
Absolutely. Which again, it's really important to the episode that she randomly recognized that was Peckmon.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Like,
and then somehow make it to this to over here.
Yeah, if everything was, if the episode was all the same except Chica wasn't there, I feel like nothing much would change, except I personally would feel like the evolution wouldn't feel as serious because he is basically, he wants to fight to protect Chica at this point, and it's great.
So Masaru...
But they never actually said if Chica showing up made Aquilamon evolve or something, and I really wish they sort of mentioned that because they do have some kind of connection. So if they said, oh, the feelings that Chica had made Aquilamon evolve to Garurumon and then made Garurumon go berserk or something, I'm not sure. Or the sight of Chicamon or the sound of Chica. I said Chicamon,
nice.
Chicamon, I can feel your love. If we had any sort of inkling of that, I feel like it would have even raised the stakes even more or given us more, I don't know, it would feel more invested in this show that we are referencing evolution and this connection that they have, despite her not having a Digivice.
Speaking of evolution,
Yep.
We get my favorite... It's not my favorite thing. It's awful. So you know how cool it is when Masaru evolves Agumon by punching stuff?
Yeah.
Isn't it great how he evolves him again by whining really hard?
Well, no, he screams. He's just like, because this is what being a true man is, protecting things.
No, it's just, I couldn't do it. My fists weren't good enough. And I'm like, you should kick him. But no, it's like, I couldn't do it. And then they evolve. It's, oh, fine, I guess. That's cool.
What if he gets his next evolution by just body slamming the bad guy?
Let's do a suplex.
Like, he just suplexed Marukimon and then, like, all of a sudden
really
evolution.
Big. So, Rise Greymon's a weird design, right? Because it's just Metal Greymon, you know? Like, that's obviously what it is. But it's Metal Greymon that was, like, put together by a better engineer. Also, which is actually fair, because Metal Greymon was actually put together by Greymon, who just wanted to repair himself for Zero.
Yeah.
But the show never goes into that, obviously, because Zero doesn't exist.
I wish it did, because that always explained why Metal Greymon is blue and original Greymon's
Zero.
orange.
What's his name? Because Zero is the Vidramon. Who's the bad guy of V-Tamer?
I don't know. It's not Ray, because Neo.
Neo, yeah. Ray's the sister.
Yeah, because I keep on calling him Neon.
So
wow, man, we love this manga series, X Tamer.
Yeah, Z-Tamer is really good.
One and Bowtie.
So apparently it has something to do with Masaru realizing what he treasured the most, which is very abstract.
Well, this is fine because you're meant to have something special with evolution and how it is some sort of realization inside yourself.
This doesn't matter. And so they beat the bird.
Yes, it matters. It matters.
Does.
Like they're meant to make an evolution episode feel like it matters to you.
I thought the crests were a better system for that because they gave you a theme and they gave you something to like think about and expect.
Yeah, I know. I see your point.
At least he wasn't hit by weird light arrows. So
that was ultimate though.
They beat.
You can wait till that.
They beat the bird. And in Japanese, they're like, oh yeah, so we just told everyone that all the damage caused by Aquilamon was an accident. Yeah, because there weren't thousands of witnesses or anything.
How dumb do they think people are in this universe? To be fair, clearly it's been working prior to this, so maybe humans in this universe are just really stupid.
No, they've had the forget rays, so that makes more sense. But they couldn't have got everyone because that's too public. It was on the national news.
Does it work over TVs? Maybe they just put it up against a TV and went flash.
That would have been clever, but they never did it.
Also, just from
the English.
Oh, yep. Sorry, you can continue, and then I'll go to my
different.
differences.
And
Yeah?
it's way better. They go, oh, we said it was a movie stunt, and we think they bought it. So they it's a more reasonable explanation of like, oh, none of that was real. What you saw wasn't real. Not like, oh, it was an accident. There just was no bird. Don't worry about it.
Well, remember in Adventure when Digimon first started showing up in the real world, in the Vampmon arc, a lot of people would say, "Oh, they must be shooting a commercial," but I don't see any cameras. Oh no, there must be really high tech ones that we can't see, so they don't get in the way. Oh, okay. They were completely like willing to accept it's just a movie that's being filmed.
Yeah, the public is stupid in Digimon. There's only two more things that matter in this episode. One is that they conclude for some reason that Aquilamon showed up to destroy the world.
You
I
mean
don't know.
Marukimon?
No? Wait, yes.
Yes.
No. Mercurymon sent Pyromon to destroy them. That was
Yes.
what they concluded.
No, Thomas said Marukimon must want to destroy the real
No,
world.
that was earlier.
Yeah.
At the end, he says he must have sent Aquilamon to do that.
But we're not up to the end yet.
No, we are.
No.
And then he mentions, oh yeah, so Masaru was telling about your dad. That's the end of the episode.
No.
You talk about whatever you want. I've covered my
Okay, so
bit.
just back to the evolution part, because Jay really wants to finish this episode.
It's really late. We've been talking about it forever, and nothing else is important.
During the evolution part, a change I noticed that, well, it wasn't a change. It's weird that they didn't do a change in this way. The text on the Digivice reads perfect evolution and doesn't say like ultimate full charge or something, because the level that Rise Greymon is in the original is perfect. In the dub, it's ultimate, but the Digivice still says perfect evolution in both versions. And I found that weird that they didn't change that, considering how much text they've changed in savers. Like just Japanese text to English text. I don't know, I found it weird. And then something else I've noticed, I'm not sure if you noticed this too, Jay, is that Rise Greymon, the attack noise that happens is like bullets, but in the dub they made this sort of like lasers.
I didn't catch it because I just thought it was weird he had a revolver. That was like where I was at.
But did you think it's weird like that they were lasers and not bullets? Like they removed the bullet sound effects?
It doesn't shock me.
No, it lasers you.
What?
Pachoo, pachoo. Meow, meow. So in the dub, as you said, they made it public by thinking there's a movie, and then in the original, Satsuma says that he has something to tell everyone, especially Masaru. In the dub, he says how he's going to tell everybody something about Marcus. Did you get that?
I really thought they said your dad. Like I don't remember it just being like something about Marcus.
No, and then the next episode starts off with, and it's about his dad.
No, I really thought
No,
it's possible that I just had taken it over in my head
No,
from the Japanese.
In this, at the end of the episode, the dad is not mentioned until the next episode. So I just found it weird that it went from this thing is especially relevant to Masaru to saying this is a thing about Marcus. I don't know, I felt like it was a weird change. So Satsuma, at the start of episode 14, the wild boy of the digital world, or Digimon boy Akuto, forest guardian Juraimon, we find out that 10 years ago, the digital world was discovered and people went to explore. Their camp was attacked and destroyed.
So the thing here is that it's been 10 years. And this is the first time, according to them, that they went to the digital world, right?
Yes.
Okay. And it was...
Well, it would sort of be the first and last, maybe, besides when Masaru and Toma went to the digital world to defeat Dromojimon.
That is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So it's been 10 years and they got in, and this is... I think I called exactly this, that they lost the dad in the digital world, and that's why they don't let people in.
Yes, that's effectively what you said.
Awesome. So that was 10 years ago. And then recently, Masaru and Toma went in very, very briefly.
Yes.
And that was sort of it.
And it was a success.
Okay. And it occurs to me now that Mercurymon really hates humans when he couldn't possibly have had like any interaction with them at all.
That's correct.
Because these people were around for like one day, and the other guys were around for less than one day and never met him.
Yeah, and we never saw Marukimon or any inkling of Marukimon, unless Marukimon for some reason saw them fight the Dromojimon in the Colosseum. But I feel like Savers is a smart enough show that they would give us evidence that someone was watching them, or even like a shadow going, huh, humans.
And just to mention something later in the episode,
Yep.
like Ikuto is of the opinion that humans destroy the peace of the digital world.
Yes.
So the idea that he would even come up with that is odd, because humans are never in the digital world. How could they possibly be doing that? The only thing that it could be, that I can imagine, is that the Japanese DATS doesn't send people through anymore, but the other DATS send people through all the time. That probably isn't true, because all the other countries in the world don't exist.
From my memory of watching Digimon Savers, and this isn't a spoiler, it's just I don't think the other factions of DATS are brought up.
Of course they're not, because nowhere exists but Japan, even though Toma was in Austria as part of DATS.
I really do like your idea, though, that they've said, oh, the Japanese team haven't gone in before, but the other countries have, and I really actually like that, and I really wish that was right. Why does everything that you come up with better than anything that's happened in Digimon?
Mate, it's because I thought about it for like 6 seconds. Mm-hmm. That's all it took, like 6 seconds. I'm not a professional writer on the show who gets paid to do this for my job. I just watched the show today and thought, this is wrong.
Yeah.
If I looked at the script, I'd be able to tell you immediately, look at that, huh? And they go, but we could have just gone drinking now? It's like 11 a.m. Can't we just knock off work now?
What I think happened is that the Australians came and was like, all right.
All right, mate. I'm
wants
the
to go-
Digi-Destiny Dingo of Australia.
Who wants to have a bar fight and who wants some fish and chips at the pub?
Some grog.
All right, let's get some grog. Let's get some Sheilas. All right, let's do it. I don't know why.
Digi-grog.
I don't know why I'm putting on Australian accent because I am Australian.
No, you put it on.
All right, mates. All right. Well, who wants to watch some footy? Have some macas? Have a stubby?
Do you play the Digi-Redo? Ha ha! Cracking good fun, mate.
Hey, remember all those people that we
Give me credit for Digi-Redo.
No, that was really good. Hey, mates, do you remember the people who we kind of kicked out of their own country? Yeah. Want to do the same to this place?
You mean those
all right,
people
mate.
who were officially flora and fauna until 1967?
Oof. Hey, yeah, do you want to do it again, mate? Let's go
Wow,
this digital
Australia
world.
was really messed up.
We can do the same thing. Hey, you. This is our land now, and you are just part of the land.
No, that's it, yeah. Terra nullius. No one's here.
Because you're happy with that, right? All right, this isn't a vacant land. You are trees. This is my land now, mate. All right. I'm going to put a pub there on that corner. Okay. Gonna put a 7-Eleven there.
Dang, it's a little bit too far.
I know,
You're overdoing it.
I really like playing Australians.
You're really doing it too much.
Mate. Oi, mate. Oi. Love your work.
So they name Masaru's dad, and they say, yeah, his name is Spencer.
Or it's Suguru.
Yeah, I can't remember that.
So you know how I said last episode? Man, I don't actually remember his original name. I just know his dub name is Spencer despite never watching the dub. Yeah. I think I'm going to stick with Spencer.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to learn Japanese, but
Subaru.
saying Japanese names in English is not fun, and it
Masaru.
doesn't sound right
So
because
we
it's
call
just
him Marcus.
oh gosh damn Marcus. The name does not fit him.
So this is weird now because I sort of suspected. In fact, we knew, right? We knew that that Marcus's dad must have been involved because the mom talks to the captain about it. But at this point, the fact that the captain just says this really candidly, what reason did the captain have to not bring this up before?
There is no reason.
Oh, by the way, Marcus, I knew your dad. He used to work here. You know, there's a legacy to it or whatever. Perhaps your dad had a Digimon partner. We don't know. And now Masaru has to go home to his mom and say, "You've lied to me for 10 years." And he doesn't seem all that angry about it.
To be fair, I kind of understand why Sayuri didn't tell Masaru or Chika, for that matter, about the Digimon.
Sense.
Like, oh, they show up. Oh, I don't want anybody else to disappear like my husband did.
Well, sorry, it makes perfect sense before she knows what Digimon... No, before he knows what a Digimon is. Because...
No, I think it's reasonable after she knows that he knows what a Digimon is. I think, as I said, she doesn't want anyone else to go to the digital world and leave her and abandon her and disappear because presumably the love of her life left her and she's still in love with him, and, you know, she has to deal with look after these two children.
Mate, the problem with that entire theory, and the problem with this entire episode, like, it's really totally undermined by it, is what this episode does really well is set up the digital world is a scary place and you might not come back. You know, can you identify what the problem with that is?
We previously saw it's this really happy, beautiful place in the Digimon episode.
It's not to do with what the digital world's content is.
Yep.
But Masaru already went and came back. There's no mystery. Like, the idea that you could go in and get lost and never return is so much less threatening when you have already returned.
Look,
he knows he can do it.
I couldn't actually remember that Digimon episode happening from when I watched it years ago, but I feel like Savers might be better off if they got rid of that episode and they just had him disappear into the digital world, and maybe later on they have the episode where they fight. I know it was good to show that the Toma and Masaru formed a relationship and became friends, and it was also to show that humans going to the digital world is taboo. Maybe have Toma try to get in and then say, no, we don't allow people to go to the digital world.
Let's be real. The reason they went to the digital world was stupid. They go, oh, he's going to tell them information about humans and be angry and that we have to stop him. They go in and they beat him up and he turns into an egg and they just leave without the egg because they would have put the egg in the digital world anyway. Yeah. So
what was the point of beating him anyway, right?
Yeah, I know.
Because presumably Digimon are born again with their memories because Peckmon was, right?
Now imagine this.
Yeah.
You're going to lift a very heavy weight. You're doing bench press, right?
Yeah.
And you lift a very heavy weight. It's
yes.
like, it's like 100 kilos. It's
very heavy.
It's
very
a heavy one. And you lift it and you put it down, you put it up and you lift it. Oh, good on you. You did a good job, right?
Yeah, very good.
Now,
Didn't
you walk
die.
up to the bench and it's got the same weight on it, and someone tells you, oh, if you drop that, you'll die. Oh my god, that's insane. You're gonna... Holy crap, you might die.
That's literally what happens whenever my dad walks past me
No, but
lifting weights.
The point...
Like he's saying, is that are you going to take weight
Mate.
off that? Because that is a lot. No, I 100% see what you're saying because it happens to me all the
The point
time.
I'm getting at for our audience who's listening is that, yes, the drama is increased by the person saying that appears to be dangerous and here are the consequences of that danger.
Mm-hmm.
But the tension is all gone when you are... Because the tension arises when you say, I do not know if this person is able to perform this task.
Yes.
To lift this weight and not drop it and kill themselves. But the fact that you've already seen them do it means that the other person just seems pedantic and stupid.
Well, Toma did get a pretty bad scratch on his leg.
Oh.
He was bleeding.
It's almost like nobody else knows that they've done this before, but they do. We know that.
It's not even addressed. Like, I feel like you could have
It's addressed
actually...
once.
That they've been there before.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no, Masaru says, well, I've been
He
here
just
before.
brags about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the writers kind of forgot.
Yeah.
Here's a question. If it takes 3 people to send them to Digital World, how could Yoshi do it by herself?
How did Thomas do it by himself?
Yeah, without even anyone at the controls.
Yeah, because they need to say, oh, okay,
Well, he's a genius.
doing these separate, different tasks, and then they had to say digital gate open, and yeah, for them to do that, but without anything, was just unusual.
Have you noticed how when Masaru was talking to his mom about his dad, they do not entertain for a single second that even after 10 years disappeared, he might be dead?
No one ever says that, but yeah, if he's in the digital world, presumably without human food, with monsters that want to kill him, and it wasn't said that they didn't come to the digital world with partners, so he's without a partner. How did the Saberleomon not eat him?
And they are of the... sometimes in other seasons they say you don't need to eat in the digital world. They are of the opinion that you do need to eat. That's why they pack lunches.
Yes.
So they do not at any point think, you know what, he might die. It's just Masaru saying, you know what, I'm going to get him back. And I know it's a kid's show and whatever, but come on, he's dead.
Well, I feel like they
I know
should've-
he's not dead because it's a kid's show.
I feel like they should have addressed that because I also feel like Sabers is meant to be aimed at a little bit of a higher audience than the previous season. So I feel like it's okay to say, hey, is he still alive? But no one ever questions it. I feel like Soyuri, being, you know, a smart woman, would say he might not even be alive. Satsuma might even say, and he might not even be alive. But no one, you're right, no one entertains the fact that, oh, this guy might be dead.
So, speaking of Masaru's dad, they try to access his files, and they're marked as confidential. So, the really important question... Okay, there are a few, but we'll do the obvious ones first. The obvious ones being, they are government agents. Who is it being kept confidential from? From the government agents? Could they not ask the captain to see it? Like, how high up does it go? How important could it be? And why is it confidential? That stuff would be on record, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a basic question about... And the reason this exists from a story perspective is that they don't have to tell you anything more about him.
Yep.
But it's stupid, and there are a lot of reasons why. The second, and so much worse, is you remember in episode 3, I think it was, when Masaru accidentally deletes a ton of confidential information?
What if he accidentally deleted his dad's information?
No, not that. The fact that he has enough access to delete really important stuff, but not enough access to read this stuff,
Yes.
is so dumb.
Well, it has different read-write privileges, you see.
I mean, I guess. But how many things have write privileges but not read privileges?
Also, what if he didn't actually mean to delete them? He was just trying to read them,
Well, that is what happened.
and then they just delete
No,
themselves.
that is exactly
Yes.
what happened.
So
Remember?
it's like the iPhone, when you're unlocking an iPhone and it deletes itself after like 3 tries.
Okay,
Maybe he tried 3 times and they deleted themselves,
I
right?
mean, we both recall what happened. He sits down on the
Yes.
keyboard, touches it once, and it starts an alarm.
What if he saw his name and he thought that it was his login, but it was actually his father's login?
Okay, but that doesn't matter. The fact is that he deleted all these files somehow, but he
Yes.
can't get into this one. And also, Toma can't get in despite being a genius and having more seniority, and he has no even vague clues on how to manage it. Anyway,
So Masaru runs home to ask his mum, and his mum said, oh, I knew. And Agumon, and I love that they put this in, Agumon says, oh, so that's why you weren't surprised when you saw me. I'm like, well, I'm good. I'm glad that we established that, because and I remember that was your question, was like, wow, his mum sure is fine with this dinosaur living there.
I actually just thought it was because she was really nice.
No, it's just because he was like, oh, a Digimon, I guess. So Then Zoe explains if Masaru knew the truth, she'd be worried that he would disappear the digital world too.
Awkward. He already has.
And Masaru says that he's not going anywhere. And then he says, I'm going to go to the digital world and defeat Marukimon.
I'm not going anywhere except there.
And then he does say he'll bring his dad home. But in the dub, he just immediately says he's going to find his dad, and he doesn't even mention how he's not going anywhere because he obviously is.
So the mom makes them the most absurd, massive lunchbox.
It's great.
It's redonkulous.
It's fantastic. And also, there's all this montage of all the characters sort of preparing to leave for the digital world, or they're saying their goodbyes to their family. And in the dub, I'm pretty sure they just put more Samson narrating this whole scene about how, the kids have to amount to something and how they're all working together for this goal.
Hey, I have another question, which I never even thought about before, because again, it's a kid's show and you just don't think about it.
Yep.
Why did they only have 3 field agents, for an entire country of Japan?
Yep.
Or even a city the size of Tokyo. And
It's
second,
not Tokyo, though.
So where are they?
Yokohama.
I don't know what that is.
It's like half an hour drive away from Tokyo, but it's not Tokyo.
Well, then one presumes they might even have a bigger one in Tokyo. But why do they only have 3 field agents? And also, more importantly, why do their field agents top out at the age of 17?
18. Yoshino's 18.
Sure.
Also, remember, before Masaru joined, Toma was in Austria. There was one active field agent, and it was Yoshino.
Uh-huh.
And Sunflowmon has not done anything.
What a great government aid. No wonder they want to dissolve it. The military thinks it's a waste of money. Why doesn't Samson go do something?
Well, we know he has a Digimon.
Yeah.
Do you think his Digimon can evolve?
Probably.
Do you think we'll ever see it?
Maybe once.
What about Pawn Chessmon?
Look, I think they can all evolve.
What about the most important character?
The turtle?
Yeah, he's my friend.
Well, you've told me that he does have Oh, his partner's the old man.
I'm still not going to tell you, even if you get it right.
That makes
or
so
wrong.
much more sense. Because, old men and turtles is a thing in Japan.
Oh, yeah, because it's like that folk story about the guy who was all like, I rescued a turtle.
We did see him in that when he went to get the Digivice. Man, I'm really smart.
Did we?
Yeah, that's what... He went and picked up Masaru's Digivice when he was arguing with Agumon.
Oh, I guess so. Huh.
And he gave it to Agumon. Anyway... So that was hopefully a good call in the future. Well, I guess we'll find out. And so yeah, they go to the digital world.
Oh no! But before that, when we're talking about the tamagoyaki that was brought by Masaru's mother, the most important thing in the whole series is the fried eggs. Thomas is saying how, it's not a picnic, guys, and Masaru says, well, I guess we'll just eat your share then.
Also, Galmon's share in
No,
English.
yeah, in the English version, yeah.
And Galmon's like, are you gonna just let them do that?
But in the original, he says, Master seems afflicted because Toma loves the fried eggs.
Of course he does. Everyone does for some reason.
It's the nicest thing about the show. Is just like they fight Digimon, but they really like fried eggs. That's their motivation at the end of the day.
That's my whole motivation, Morty. It's the fried eggs. It's 9 seasons in a movie, Morty. Fried eggs. That's my entire character arc.
Yeah.
If you replace the word fried eggs with Szechuan sauce, that's a quote, pretty much.
Yeah, I know. Well done. I'm very proud. I also watched the show.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I thought you were a mid-season 2
No?
I thought you were behind.
I literally said to you last week, I just haven't watched the latest episode yet.
I thought you were really, really behind. Sorry.
No.
I'm just confusing it in Game of Thrones, I think.
Yeah. Game of Thrones, I'm up to season 4, so. Anyway, when we get the digital gate open, it's very lovely and wonderful because it's reminiscent of Miyako yelling digital gate open. Unfortunately, the dub didn't change it to Digiport, so it's still digital gate, which,
Good.
I know, I'm sad.
It's not a port.
Well, yeah, no, to be fair, you're right. They're both, I guess...
Neither is the gate. It's a tube.
It's a portal, which
Sure.
is more port than gate.
Yeah, it's not true. So, for whatever reason, they are dropped in the digital world separate from the launch, from their equipment. Speaking of which, they have set up their equipment, by the way, of you need these rods to stick in the ground to triangulate how to get you out of there.
Yes.
Something they did not need the first time they went to the digital world for whatever reason.
No, it's because they needed to go to a specific point in the original time when they first went back. This time, they might travel far to find where Marukimon is, so they might be too far to travel back to that point. This is so they can be picked up from wherever they need to be in the digital world, and they don't have to be given coordinates of where to return to, which was the same in the Dromojimon episode.
You know what would be smarter than this? In addition to, not only do you have these things to show you where you go, but also we'll just open a portal where you got in here once every day at exactly this time for about 1 minute. And you show up at this time and you'll get out.
Okay, that's fair.
That way you don't need to communicate, but the people know that they have a way out, and you minimize the ability of Digimon to sneak through.
I don't know, it's still a minute. I think if it's at the same sort of time every day, I'm pretty sure the Digimon who are sentient beings would be able to say, that opens for a minute every day. I'm going to get an army this time tomorrow, and then we're just going to storm whatever's on the other side, because they've probably seen the portal before. If they hate humans so much, they might know where they come from.
Maybe the ones who want to get to the real world are creating their own portals.
Also, alternatively, the Digi-eggs that hatch, if they still retain their memories, they have gone back and told Marukimon about their terrible time in the human world, about how they just were there on a holiday and they got beaten and they got killed, and now they're back here.
The fact that you're telling me this means that's not what happens.
As I said, I don't remember. That could be 100% what happened.
Sure.
At this point, when I'm saying things like that, I'm actually coming up with theories because I can literally not remember what happened, because, as I mentioned before, I watched the entire season in maybe a couple of days.
Can we talk about how Tom is the first one to start running, because they're like, oh, but he wants those fried eggs. It's important to him.
It is the most pure thing.
So they get over there and it gets hit with a boomerang and the thing falls over, and that somehow makes the entire thing explode.
Yes, it is a digital boomerang. Also, later on, when Masaru punches the same sort of boomerang, it disintegrates into data.
Can we talk about how boomerangs are literally the worst stealth weapon that's ever existed?
Well, Ikuto, I think, wanted to make a big flashy entrance.
No, he was hiding in the trees. That's not true.
He is a Naruto character.
A little bit. What I'm trying to say is, if what you're trying to do, right, is attack someone from hiding, there is no worse weapon. Look, guns are good, right? Guns are good because...
Guns are good. Jay Larrabee, 2017.
So a gun with no silencer makes a lot of noise, but people look around and try to find where it's coming from, and you look at the hit on the ground and you make a decision. With a silencer, it makes less noise, and there's still things going on. If you throw a boomerang at someone, they can just follow it with their eyes back to where it returns to. And there you are!
Honestly, I'm surprised that Agumon didn't try to eat it and then was taken back to Akuto.
That's nonsense. That makes no sense at all.
I'm pretty sure that has happened in a Looney Tunes cartoon before.
Whatever. So Ikuto says he will never forgive the humans. And I think in the English he says humans, which is hilarious. Because because he doesn't know what a human is, so it's a human.
Oh, I didn't.
They're not Digimon, they're human.
I didn't catch that. All I noticed is in both versions he speaks in obviously in original with broken Japanese, and in the dub he speaks in broken English.
Obviously, I didn't know that.
Well, the subtitles carried across, but also we know
he spoke in simple words, but not
it's like I protect digital world. It's also and also like he uses baby, very low level, like my level of Japanese.
Well, I couldn't have picked that up.
Like his Japanese is limited, and it's the same in the English version. He's very Tarzan in the way he talks.
Yeah, definitely in the English, it's super obvious.
Also,
very cavemanish.
Also in the English dub, he has the same English voice actor as Koromon, Kulamon, and Tommy in Season 4. So I just wanted to say that because I still feel like it's a better voice for a tiny Digimon and not for a human.
So they see the Owlman is there, the Owl Digimon.
Falcomon.
Which is obviously his partner.
He's
probably
my friend. I love him.
And Ikuto says this weird stuff like, oh, humans destroy the peace of the digital world. So that's an odd thing to say when humans have been to the digital world presuming that we never see the foreign ones ever again. Humans have been there 3 times in 10 years.
I think
2 of them were recent.
I think this is something that he has been told by Marukimon.
Sure.
It's not necessarily true.
But there's so he has no evidence for that whatsoever. Also, if the last time was 10 years ago, and this kid looks like he's 10, then he doesn't know. He couldn't possibly know.
Yes, no, okay, I see your point.
He has never ever seen a human in the digital world in his entire life. The fact is, he shouldn't know what one looks like besides himself.
I don't think he knows he's human.
Yeah, I can tell. And that's fair enough, because a lot of Digimon look human, and you can't tell. But then the question is asked, how does he know what they are? Wouldn't he just think those are weird Digimon I've never seen before?
I think he might have been told that the humans were coming, or maybe, I don't know.
Speaking of which, Mercurymon totally senses that they have arrived.
Yes, I also feel like Ikuto has been told and fed lies by Marukimon, possibly saying humans are the worst, humans just want to kill us, humans want to destroy our way of life, humans want to come here and take over. To be fair, that's a lot of what human history is.
That's true, but he doesn't know that. His experience with humans is they showed up one day and we scared them off and then they left forever. That's their whole experience.
Yes, so I think Ikuto's being lied to.
No, but imagine if you lived in a place and there was a beehive right? That like got built in a corner of like one of your rooms. That sucks, right? You don't like bees coming into your place, and you get rid of the bees, and you whack the beehive out the window, and all the
No.
bees leave. No, listen to me. I'm not. It's wasp hive. Whatever. Who cares? I know
I'd
bees are
burn
nice.
the house down if it was a wasp.
That's what I'm saying, right? So you bash the wasp hive out of the window, and
Would
the wasp.
would not touch a wasp.
Nay,
hive.
stop!
Sorry.
It's not a real thing. Just listen.
I just think wasps are creepy.
Just listen.
Yes, okay.
So you get rid of the hive, right? Imagine then for the next 10 years, you teach your children to, like, that wasps not only are bad, but they are also poisonous and will, like, frame you for tax fraud. Like, it's just a weird thing to do.
Yeah, I see your point.
Yeah, sure, you don't like them, but you did it. You dealt with it, and they did you no harm whatsoever.
Bees were a bad example because bees are nice and pure,
Yes, I understand that. That's why I changed
and they have
it.
bumble bums. I love them.
The point of the metaphor is not that the thing that you are beating out is nice. Although in this case, they're humans. They're probably fine.
No, humans are not fun.
No, I mean like these humans. They were just exploratory. They didn't even come with their own partners and stuff. Which means that they have no power in the digital world whatsoever. Because as we all know, human weaponry does not work on Digimon for the sole reason that they only get hit with digital fireballs. Oh, a gun's not good enough.
Giant missile from the humans, not good enough. Tiny bullet from Digimon, now we're talking.
Exactly. Even though those bullets, if they hit a child, will just sort of knock them over and say, ow.
I think it's because maybe digital things can't kill humans and
Human things
can't kill Digimon.
It's not true.
When have we ever seen a Digimon actually like physically harm a child?
Digimon, Vandal put a grown woman in the hospital.
That was because he drank her blood. That wasn't because he was doing anything particularly Digimon related. He literally drank her blood. He drained her of blood.
That's harm.
Yeah, but with Digimon moves, not just like...
I mean...
Like, what I'm saying is...
What's his name? Oh my god, what's his name? From Frontier, that kid that died.
That was the stairs. Also, he wasn't there. He wasn't actually there. He was just data, remember?
Oh yeah. I mean, they got hurt when they were Digimon.
Not as humans, though. Oh. You can also just say it's the writers don't want to kill children.
Wait, no, hold on a second. Doesn't Lucimon like pile driver one of them?
Only as a Digimon.
No, like he does it, but like, and then at the end you can see he's just doing it to the child.
Don't think so.
Whatever.
But also Frontier's different.
So, okay, whatever. You can't ask the question, has this ever happened, and then not talk about
Frontier doesn't count.
Various seasons.
Everything that doesn't count is anything that is an example that you can come up with.
So Ikuto says, I will never forgive the humans. And I can't... That implies he has seen them do something. Like, you can't say, I will never forgive you, and someone just tells you, hey, something... Oh, they were bad.
It is relevant.
I'm sure maybe.
Because I do remember Ikuto's backstory. A fog shows up and it says, yo, get out of my forest.
It turns out it's a big tree with a mustache.
Who is not trying to persuade Tom of anything.
I was going to say, he doesn't have a magic river to back him up.
Yeah.
He also threatens Ikuto and the owl.
Yeah,
he's like, you're also my forest. You should get out too.
I think this is actually quite well written because I forgot that Doraemon is just not on anyone's side. He's on the side of the forest. He speaks for the trees.
I think it's interesting though because if Mercuryman is a forest guardian, then you think he would have authority over this guy too.
No, Garmon said he was the forest guardian. He's not anymore.
How would he know that in any way?
He said it. I think it's another thing of we are trusting what the characters say to us and we're not going to question where they get this information.
So Ikuto shows that he has a Digivice, apparently, even though those are meant to be government issue.
Well, he didn't even have a fisherman to give it to him.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he couldn't get any Digi advice.
Also, I don't know that dude's name in Japanese, but I'm pretty sure because of DMO, his name in the dub is Homer.
Homer? That's awesome.
But I might be wrong.
So
I'm going to cry if his name is Homer.
Ikuto evolves his owl and it turns into an emu. I'm sorry, hold on. A ninja emu.
Yeah, his name's Peckmon and he pecks. Yay.
Actually, it claws. It does spiral claw.
Yeah, but he pecks in his evolution animation.
Oh my god.
Peck, 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 peck. Peck.
Okay.
I don't like Peckmon.
So then they do a lot of evolution and stuff, and I just realized how Digisoul Charge, that whole animation, is super boring and lame, and it's the exact opposite of the Insertion Me thing from Atmon, which has tons of character. In, like, Digisoul Charge is nothing.
Though they do get Digisoul in different ways because Masaru gets his from punching and already has his Digisoul at the start of the animation.
I'm talking about the animation.
Yeah, no, and I'm saying how Toma, I believe, clicks and Yoshino does like a hand movement.
Oh, amazing. It tells you so much about them.
But it is subtle and has the same sort of beat as the other evolutions, so it's not like in Atmon, but I'm just saying that
rhythmic insertion is just on board with click.
Yeah, okay.
Ooh, explosive insertion with her all of Aries' energy and love and happiness is the same as waving your arm a little.
Insertion.
So Masaru punches the boomerang and it dies. And this is when I'm really like excited again. Oh, Masaru's punching stuff. They're fighting in front of the tree and the tree's upset because he's defending his little...
from punching a boomerang.
Hey, he has got to hit something.
Also, thank Jeff Nimoy for this glorious line that the dub delivers to us, which is...
You meddling humans are trespassing in my forest and I want you out of here now! And if you don't leave immediately, you'll find my bite is much worse than my bark!
I wrote that one
tree.
down.
Here's a tree.
It's funny.
He's a tree.
He never bites anyone.
Yeah, I can't...
He doesn't. He does not bite anyone. He lies. It's
I
all
wish
lies.
like we had like a picture of Doraemon just like having a bit of a nibble on Agumon and saying you taste like fried eggs, and Agumon saying, Aniki, I'm being bitten by a tree, and Masaru's like, don't worry, his bark is much worse.
That's really awful.
I really like this joke because bark is what trees have. And
yes, May, we all know what puns are.
it's so funny. I love Jeff Nimoy so much.
So keep in mind that Masaru has just punched a boomerang to death.
Yes.
There is a rock man flying on a bug around the place.
Also,
they are currently... No, listen to me.
Yes, continue.
They're fighting a ninja emu.
Yes.
This is an LSD trip.
Yes.
What is happening in this weird, stupid show?
Also,
Yeah?
when the boomerang hit the care package from the real world, it exploded it.
Yes.
When it hit Masaru's fist, it did not explode him.
Which means that the fist is more powerful than a metal box.
Well, you know what to say. The fist is mightier than the metal box.
They don't say that. So,
You never know, they might.
Sunflowermon continues to be embarrassingly bad at their job. The ninja emu is hit with a bunch of explosive cherries, because that's a thing that Tree Man does. We find out the Tree Man is just protecting little seedmons, which makes sense because he's defending it from the bird, which would want to eat them.
Yes. I wish they said that because I didn't actually... Yeah,
I made that up.
I know, but I like that. And I wish they said it because otherwise I don't like it when you say intelligent things. I'm just like, no, the show must have said that.
So Gotsumon starts raining rocks on them, and you know how Digimon, who can withstand being hit with tanks, are now uncomfortable being hit with some falling rocks.
Also, just a bit before that, Doraemon says that he's not on anybody's side and he just doesn't want people in the forest. In the dub, Cherrymon mentions something about Marukimon's hideout location, which I found is a bit strange. In the original, Toma then says how not all Digimon must be on Marukimon's side. In the dub, Thomas says how Marukimon has control over everything in the digital world.
Nice.
This is the direct opposite. Again, I think it's just like, Jeff Nimoy is being shifty because he knows how things are going to end, but I don't...
Get in there.
As I said, I don't remember anything about how it ends, so I'm not sure how this is relevant.
I have a question for you, mate.
Yeah?
What level is the tree again?
I think he might be perfect. I think Woodmon evolved to him.
Perfect. All right, that's pretty high. What's Gotsumon?
Adult? Wait, no, child. Yeah, he's child.
So why are his attacks even bothering the tree?
I think it's bothering him because the plot says it is, but also...
there it is.
That's
what I want to hear.
I think he's not so much worried about the rocks hitting him, it's the rocks hitting the seeds because they can crush the seeds.
No, but he's over them already, so it's fine. So they evolve to Rise Greymon just to punch a rock because it's a big rock that they can't shoot when they're smaller, and it's hilarious that last episode they needed to finish a fight, and now it's like, oh, you know what? We're just using evolution for everything.
Yes,
it's fine. We'll punch a rock. I feel like 100% that I'm sure it's meant to be ironic that Ikuto's whole motivation is like, oh, the digital world was peaceful if not for humans, but A, he is human, and B, he's the reason it's not peaceful because he started the fight.
Yes.
Like, that's all irony. I'm sure that's intended. I'm sure it's accidental. No faith whatsoever. And this is when I realized that the other DAT cells could have sent it in. And so the tree tells them, hey, there's a digital gate in Mikurimon's palace. It's just across the Infinity Ice Ridge. It's really metal.
Yeah.
It's really scary sounding.
No, the one thing I like about Save is that I feel like they name everything in this really sort of serious way. And in Adventure of Farlands was like, oh, there's Factorial Town. There's Primary Village. They name it all cutesy things, and Save is just like, no.
Infinity Ice Ridge.
Death Valley.
That's where the Undertaker's from. So Gotsumon is upsetero.
Very upsetero.
And Mukurumon says, no, just let him go. And he smirks, because he's evil, I guess. And I don't know, it's probably fine. That's the episode.
Masaru is happy because he's saying, we get to stay, and that means I get to fight more. I'm really happy. Yoshino is just saying how she's worried that they might not be able to get home. In the dub, they made her worry about Keenan.
Because if their equipment all exploded, I guess, then they were warned, hey, you need this to get home.
Yeah.
You know, if they had a system of, you know, be there once a day or something.
I think they should have had an extra plan of like, and if that gets destroyed, go to this location. I don't know. Lalamon says she doesn't want to walk because it'll make her calves fat. And I'm just like, excuse me, Lalamon, do you actually have legs?
No, Lalamon does not have legs.
So why are the shape of her calves even a concern to this thing that does not have calves?
I have a better
I don't
question
think.
for you.
Does she have calves?
Who?
Lalamon. No, I mean, she has like little...
Lalamon
like,
does not have calves.
she has like little... Like, she's a jellyfish thing. She has like little...
No, she does not. She doesn't have muscles. But the follow-up answer is walking does not make you fat.
It makes your calves big.
Yeah, it might make your muscles bigger, but that's not what fat is.
Did you know that Lalamon actually has arms and legs?
Like, I'm aware, yeah, but they're like little nubs. They're just nubs.
Okay, so if I were to draw her without anything, I feel like I would just draw sort of like the pink self on Lalamon and then like just the green stuff just sort of under it, just like a petal, and she just floats.
Sure.
Because she does float.
Yeah, she doesn't walk.
Yeah, I did not realize she actually had legs, so that makes my comment a little bit silly after all that. What do you think of this episode as someone who's new to Digimon?
It's quite bad. And you know what? It might be that there's just this total solution to it, right? But I think the show really relies on a reaction from the audience of, oh, this all makes sense, when it doesn't. And it's not like an Atmon, like, we know it doesn't make sense, that's a mystery we are intentionally setting up.
Yes.
It feels more like, aha, we tricked you into thinking something, and now we will set something up in the future. But it's just not. You can't pretend to me that this kid really thinks humans are harmful, and also tell me humans have been there 3 times in 10 years, and have that somehow make sense.
And one of those times being 10 years ago, and the other time being maybe
2
a
weeks
month
ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 weeks to a month
and
ago.
And the third time being right now.
Yes.
And the kid has never been around for any of them except this one.
Yes, and I didn't even think about that. So I'm glad that I have you on the show, because there's a lot of time I'm like, this is fine, this is great. Because you know what? I loved both these episodes. I mean, I didn't think they were as good as previous episodes, and while I'm talking about my thoughts on them, I gave them both a 6 out of 10, but I found them fun, and I only gave them a 6 out of 10 because I know that Savers can do better, and I'm anticipating a long run of high-ranking episodes, so hence I'm giving this a 6 because I have high hopes for this season, and I know it can do better.
My problem is that, like, when you see a script and it's fundamentally broken, in the same, like, way, the first episode, where Chika just knows it's Peckmon because they saw a bird on TV, and that caused the ending where Garudamon evolves and gets stronger and then fights and goes mad.
Right.
And then that means that Rise Greymon evolves. Like, all of that is predicated on Chika being, like, psychic. I don't know. I gave him, like, I don't know, a 4. They were super boring.
Well, a 4's alright, considering you were giving Frontier, like, 3 out of 10.
That's true.
And if this was on the Frontier scale, what would you give both these episodes? Because I feel like you'd give it a 7.
Yeah, 7's right.
See, and that's good. At the very least, you can say that it's at least better than Frontier and has improved.
Because there were vaguely enjoyable bits to them, like how Tom's obsessed with fried eggs. Also,
the problems that we found, or rather that you found mainly, were problems that you sort of have to dig around for.
Oh, come on. You just have to think.
Yeah, but you have to think a little bit harder.
Oh, I'm sorry that the television show made you think.
No.
It's not like media is intended to do that in any way.
I want my dumb shonen anime. Leave me alone.
It's okay. We were watching that before, and it was also more intelligent and well written than this.
That's because it's made for adults instead of tiny children.
That's not true. It's made for children.
Oh, is it? I thought MHA was for...
My Hero Academia is absolutely made for children. That is a kid's show.
Oh, okay.
What are you talking about? That's what you wanted.
How did your predictions in Obnoxious Synopsis, how did they rank up to the actual episode? Because I'm pretty sure you said the first episode was going to be like an 8 or something. I was like, well, that's not going to happen.
I definitely over-guessed them on both because they were disappointing significantly. So Masaru does punching and evolves.
To be fair, you're not wrong.
I did say that Mercuriumon gets back to the digital world with the egg, and that's sort of what I was going for.
You thought that
I thought that'd be
bad
a
guy
filler
was
monster.
a monster of the week, yeah.
And yeah, I thought most importantly, I thought the monster of the week, which it was, that's that's what Garudamon was for sure.
Yes.
Even though it's not a monster of the week in the sense that like it's a one-off.
Yes.
But at the same time, that's kind of how it acted. But what's important is that wasn't the reason that, it being a monster wasn't the reason that Mikurumon got away. Mikurumon got away because he just wanted to. And in the second one, Ikuto is a young forest boy who I said the Dats chase down when they have to fight Big Tree Man while the forest boy gets away. And that's not true because the forest boy fights them at the same time as the Tree Man, and also he attacks them. And they don't even know who he is beforehand.
Yes.
So fair enough.
Also, he doesn't so much leave as he just kind of got beaten by the rocks and he kind of used that as a distraction and left. So I felt like him leaving wasn't like too terrible. So which episode did you like better?
That's a really rough question.
Because I think I might have liked the first episode better, even though it had the anime trope of dramatic time rain, which also happened in the first evolution episode, Agumon to Geogreymon.
I guess I prefer the second one more, even though I had problems with it, because more entertaining stuff happened.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you looking forward to more savers?
No, actually, I really don't want to watch it.
That's sad. I hope that changes soon. What was a major difference that you noticed between the Japanese and the English version?
The main difference... Oh, God.
I'll list mine then while you get up your notes.
I'm just going to read the word Digimogency.
Digimogency. In the first episode, Murukimon doesn't mention the evilness of humans inside the egg. I found that as a big thing.
Oh, it was humans.
Rise Greymon's new sound for bullets being lasers. And Samson says that he's going to tell them something about Marcus instead of saying something important, especially to Masaru. And I just found that as a weird wording.
All right. For me, I mean, I couldn't tell that Ikuto's voice was different. Like, in Japanese, I just let him speak in Japanese because I don't have any context and the ability to catch that. And I know I'm the host of this show. Well, I'm a co-host of this show for Japanese and English differences, but I can't tell. So that seemed like a big deal. But when he says humans, like, I'm really sure what he's going for is what I've always kind of wanted. Hey, mon goes at the end of names, and like species especially, because that's all you call people by, and that's what humans are.
See, I didn't even catch human being said.
I think that's right. Although we already established beforehand that I thought when they introduce Peckmon in English, they say this fowl can do something, blah blah blah. I thought they said this falcon. And I thought they couldn't tell what kind of bird he was, so they just called him a falcon.
Also, he might also be an ostrich because, I don't know, ostriches and emus are very similar. They both have long neck and peck.
I just picked a random one. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I wish it was a cassowary. I really like cassowaries. I have a lot of time for cassowaries. They're probably my favourite bird.
That's why you don't include that extra syllable in the name.
Eh?
You keep saying cassowary. It's cassowary.
I'm not wary of that.
There you go.
In the second episode, the main difference that I noticed was there was this weird line about Thomas saying how Murukimon controls everything in the digital world, and this isn't him saying that not all Digimon are controlled by Murukimon. I don't know, I just found that a weird sort of change that they made. Personally, I'm starting to have a lot of worries about how useless both Toma and Yoshino, especially Yoshino, are, because every fight seems to be finished by Geogreymon evolving and then the Digimon going berserk and then Geogreymon attacking and then the fight being over, and Sunflowmon and Galgamon are just there. And then I've also noticed that Sunflowmon keeps on trying to use Sunshine Beam, misses like 3 times, and then gets pushed over.
Are you telling me you really don't like when the main character just wins fights by hitting the opponent really hard? Because, I mean, sounds to me like you don't like Digimon then.
No, I'm feeling bad that Yoshino and Toma haven't actually felt like main characters in any fight yet, and it's just been Masaru so far.
I'm sorry if you just don't recall Imperial Dramon,
the strongest one,
all that stuff in Frontier, or
no, I'm saying
all that stuff in Adventure when they get mega leveled and no one else does. I think you just might not like Digimon.
No, but I also feel like the other characters are useful. Like, in any other season, take, for example, the example I constantly use, which is in
any season, like Yoli's super useful.
No, in Adventure, in the Crest of Sincerity, the episode on the boat with the Kokatorimon.
Sure.
We have all the boys being useless, and then Sora and Mimi are running around in a towel and defeat the Digimon.
Useless is an unfair term for the people who were turned to stone.
The Digimon were. They were just in a net.
Well, that too. I'd say it's unfair to call them useless.
What I'm saying is that the girls actually did something in the episode, and they sort of let the ones who aren't just Taichi do everything. In this, I'm even feeling like the lone wolf character, which usually participates in fights just as much as the Gogglehead character, and he doesn't. He's not doing as badly as Yoshino and Sunflowmon, but he's still like not getting any final hits. And
that's alright.
It's just worrying to me because that was a main complaint we had about Frontier, was how useless the cast was besides Sakura and Koji. At
But
this
the
point,
cast
it's just
is really big, so
Yeah.
it was weird that they were super useless.
yeah. And then we had in Tamers where Ricky would just show up and just obliterate a character because, like, you know, she's tough. I don't know. It's my worry about Savers at the moment. Like I was always talking like, oh, Yoshino's really great, but maybe she's not. Maybe everyone's right. Maybe the characters in Savers are just as bad as Frontier, but the writing overall's better.
So far, maybe.
I'm just it's very worrying for me because I don't want to be negative on a season of Digimon like we were with Frontier, because we got a lot of people saying that we shouldn't have been as negative as we were.
It's too bad. It was awful. Never watching that shit. Oh my god, that was the worst thing ever.
Do you have any further thoughts on Peomon evolving to Aquilomon instead of Bergermon?
I already talked about it.
Okay, so how long do you think they're going to be in the digital world for this time? Like for the rest of the season? For how long?
It's gonna be a little while because they have to go all the way to Mikurimon's castle and get to the digital gate in there, and they have to do a whole thing. They have to do a whole lot of stuff. I'm gonna think we're one episode in. I feel like they may have like a full 10 episodes altogether, but I don't want to. Guessing the time frame is difficult.
Right. And what are your thoughts about Akudo and your predictions?
So it's weird, right? Because that's one of them. It's a mystery that they have to pay off of. Like, there's a child in the digital world. How did this get there? And the worst possible answer would be that in that initial expedition 10 years ago, someone brought a baby with them and it was stolen from the camp. It's the only explanation I can come up with right now.
No, that is awful.
So that's what I got.
And why do you think he has a Digivice?
Because it was from the camp. Because they brought Digivices with them because they were from DATS.
Okay.
Oh.
The screenshot of the week this week, mine is, it's a pretty dumb screenshot. It's not funny or anything. I just found it really cute. It's when Sayuri is telling Masaru and Agumon, you know, all about the father and just saying, oh, look, I'm really sorry for not telling you. And Masaru, Sayuri, and Agumon are all drinking tea. Agumon's just holding his tea and it just looks so cute and so happy with it. And it's like this front-on view, so you can just see his big dumb snout. It's so cute. It's great. What was yours?
Mine is when Masaru punches a boomerang, because that's awesome.
I think your favourite part of every episode of Savers is when Masaru punches a thing.
It's true. That's my Kulumon this episode. Not this episode, this season.
You mean Terriermon?
No, I mean Kulumon, but also Terriermon, sure.
Your screenshot was always Terriermon.
It was half the time.
I think, no, it was the majority of the time it was Terriermon.
Oh, he slips in the shower, May.
Do you miss Terriermon?
Whoop! I do. I legitimately do. I don't need him to be attached to anyone, though. If we just had Terriermon, that's fine.
So if we had X Evolution, but instead of Doraemon, we just had Terriermon with the same personality, would it have been better?
What? No, I mean, I guess.
He's not attached to anyone, he's just Terriermon.
I mean, I guess. It would have been an improvement.
He starts sassing the Royal Knights, telling them that they're awful.
Sure.
There was some Digimon introduced this episode, Jay.
Were there? I didn't notice.
Rise Greymon, what do you think?
I already talked about that.
I guess they sure did strap some metal to this dinosaur.
That's new. They've never done that before.
What about Nyokimon?
What the hell? Nokimon?
The little seeds that evolved to
Is
Pyokomon.
that really what they were called?
Yes.
Wow.
Unless I'm wrong.
Alright.
They're little seeds.
Look, that's my impression, honestly.
What about Peckmon?
Okay, you know what? It's been a long time since I've had something to really say about a Digimon design,
It's
but
been
this
like 2
one's
years.
really bad.
I hate it.
Like, this is awful. Let's be honest. Emus or ostriches are awkward looking animals in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
Second, you don't evolve an owl into an emu. You evolve it into a cooler looking owl. That's how Pokemon works, and Pokemon's a successful franchise.
You evolve it into the owl from the Legend of Zelda series?
Well, that would be cool too. Better than an emu. And you know what they said when they drew a bird, right? And they drew a bird and they said, you know what? All right, we got a bird. Well, let's put a little waistcoat on him because it's Digimon. We're gonna spice it up a little bit. All right, what does he evolve into? Oh, a bigger bird. What's a big bird? You know what's really scary? Big bird. emus. They kick your ass.
What if they just made a big bird from
But
Sesame
here's
Street?
the thing. That would be cool too. Here's the thing though.
Okay, guys.
He had purple clothes
I don't know what it
on.
sounds like.
So we gotta evolve those too. Well, what does he become? A ninja. Yeah.
better
He's
put-
a ninja now.
What if they just gave him like a saddle?
That would honestly be better. Just
Useful.
turn into, if he was a chocobo, it'd be fine. Oh, this Digimon's crap. Oh, it's embarrassing.
I feel sorry for Peckmon's design. However, I think I might like Peckmon more than Sunflowmon.
No. I mean, Sunflower at least got a reasonable design. It makes sense. It's just a sunflower. It's not a sunflower that's dressed as a chef.
Peckmon, however, does look very much like a Digimon.
Yeah, it does, because it looks bad.
Oh, ouch.
Digimon designs are defined by looking awful.
Also, what are your thoughts about Doraemon being a good guy and not a bad guy?
I don't care. Wasn't it a good guy in another season?
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, wasn't like 02 or something? It was a good one?
No.
Maybe Tamers?
No.
I'm pretty sure it's shown up before as a good one.
I don't remember. I feel like I only remember him being an adventure.
Maybe V-Tamer? Am I thinking of that?
I think he might have been in V-Tamer.
Maybe.
The point is, usually evil, now good.
I mean, it was evil once.
Okay, good point. Previously evil, then.
Sure.
Postmon Pat this week. First up, we'll go on to our weekly poll. And this time's question was, if a Digimon came to you and started to improve your life, but you knew it could be potentially dangerous, would you let them continue?
Wow, you really worded that in such a way that was like, no, of course you're going to say yes.
I was trying to actually word it to make no a possible
What was the result? Just tell me the numbers. I need to know right now.
We had 18 votes.
Yeah? 18 yeses?
Yes.
Okay, so mate, the question is not, it improves your life, but it could potentially be dangerous.
Because-
dangerous being potential harm, so it's potentially harmful. What you mean to say is they improve your life, but you discover it's illegal.
People would still say yes. I was trying to say it in the way that, like, your life could be in danger, because in the end, that's sort of how it was for Vilemon. Vilemon was like, I can give you like the winning numbers of these horses, but I'm also look like a devil.
Okay.
And you're just like, all
He
right.
posed no harm to that chef whatsoever.
Until the Masaru really ruined that for everyone.
And the singer was just being benefited in his life as well. So the point is that, like, you're going to get arrested by the digital police. Like, that's the difference.
Okay, good point. And now you will
I
read
can't believe you even put this as a question.
Okay.
To the people who listen to this show who like Digimon, you're saying, would you take Digimon? They don't even listen to the rest of the question. Would you take Digimon and we would also cut off your legs? Yes, I'll take the Digimon. You heard about the legs bit? What? Who cares? Digimon. Like, it doesn't matter.
Look, you don't need legs if you can use Digimon to run. Imagine having a Peckmon as legs.
So we got one from Ember
What
Motor.
would you say, by the way, since we've already spoken about our results? Would you take a Digimon? Even if it was a Digimon and you hate Digimon, would you please tell me you kill it?
What's the potentially dangerous mean?
It could murder you or eat you.
Okay, so what are my odds here? Like, is it that if I get a murderous one, I will die? Or is it at random it could happen? Or there's so many questions.
Devimon comes up to you and says, hey, want to be friends? I probably won't kill you.
But you said it's already started to improve my life.
Yeah, but Devimon says, I will improve your life, but I probably will kill you.
No, but you said it has started.
Is that how I worded it? I'm terrible.
If anyone came to you and started to improve your life, but you knew it could be potentially dangerous, would you let them continue? So they've already begun, and now you know it's potentially dangerous, which means you have to know the extent of the danger, because that's what that means. Now, would you let them continue? So there's a lot of factors there, all of which are generally positive.
So you'd say yes.
I don't know, I need to know the information.
Devimon comes up to you and says, I will...
No, I will. He's already started. What's he doing?
Okay, he is bringing you cases at your law firm for you to work on, so you're busy and you're very popular at work.
Dude,
but he's also causing those problems.
I can't ethically have that, so I'd have to say no. Like, I'm bound by my job.
But you already find, like, and this is like a week after like non-stop work that you've been given from this Devimon guy, and you only just find out maybe after more than a week, and you've already like benefited significantly.
The moment
through
you find,
this.
if you change it, the moment you find out, then ethically you're okay.
So you'd say no after this point.
Well, obviously, yeah.
So you wouldn't say yes.
I mean, in this set of circumstances, no.
Look, if I had a Digimon that made my programming better, that'd be great. I don't care if it killed everyone.
Okay, well, that
I
says
just want a
something
friend.
about you.
I just want a little friend. A little electric... Maybe it's like a Kakuamon.
No,
He
you
sits
get
onto my
Pumon.
desk. No, I don't want Pumon.
Sorry, you gave me Devimon, you get the Pumon.
Devimon's cool. What
You get the Pumon and he doesn't have a mouse friend. It's just the Poo.
But you don't like Devimon? Everyone likes Devimon. Devimon's great. I'll have Devimon.
I don't know, it's not not the one I would have preferred.
What, Lotmon? How is Lotmon going to get you clients?
I never said he was going to get prizes. It's just cute.
He just sits by your desk, but every so often he kills one of your co-workers.
Okay, well, I can't have that.
He improves your life by being a cute bunny rabbit on your desk, but every time a co-worker goes past, he bites them.
No! That's mean! Anyway, so we got one from a comment from Embamoto who says, I voted yes because, well, I'm a Digimon fan, and of course I did. No, I voted yes because I don't see the difference between the scenario posed in this question and any of the destined children getting a Digimon. The Digimon improved each of their lives in some way, but all of the potential to be dangerous. Okay, I mean, I think that's not true because the danger didn't come from those Digimon. It came from the situations they got put in after the fact. If Joe got a Gomamon, but then there was just no Devimon at all, and they just hung out in the digital world for a while and then went home, it wouldn't call that danger. Even Digimon with good intentions can be dangerous, like the first Agumon / Greymon Tai and Hikari meet in the Digimon Adventure movie. So yes, they'd take the chance. Ryuichi says, if it's improving my life, it's we've got a good enough bond that we can trust each other, and I'll be able to help him or her as well. So in the end, any risk would be small and worth the definite results. Vincent says, I'd take a Digimon partner regardless of the risk. Oh yeah, surprise.
Same.
We'd both help to improve the other's life, which I presume will involve saving the human or digital world. I love how everyone also appears to think they become Digidestined in the process.
I should have worded the question better. I meant you were one of the people in the start of the Savers season where you were just a random dude, just going about your life, and a Digimon comes about and it basically helps you do the thing, but it may or may not be illegal.
I understood you, but I think because
you're not a chosen child.
I think it's
you're not fighting with your Digimon. They're not your partner.
I think it's because fans of the show have got it. You've had long enough to think, oh, I wish I could be on adventures with a Digimon. That when asked the question, would you have a Digimon if? It's already like, bam, I'll be a Digidestined. Of course I will.
I'll just have a friend who is a Digimon. It'd be great. I like friends.
We also got one from Riku who says, if it's a Digimon, then hell yeah, I'll take it. That's the bar. The bar is it's a Digimon. You don't even get to... What if it's just the Poomon every time?
What if it's just a mouse with like a knife strapped to it that someone's just like taped onto it?
Oh, really? To improve my life, all I need is a Digibuddy. So was that about tape? You're just taping to the poo?
No, you tape it to a mouse and say, look, it's my Digimon friend, Knife Mousemon.
Knife Mouse.
He evolves to Scythe Knifemon.
I mean Warhamster.
Oh my god, that's great.
We got actual messages on With the Will. We got one from Chuckmon about episode 11 who says, did Masaru avoid going to DATS to avoid Miki and Megumi? The idea was he'd replace the Manju in a day, and they didn't like the English take of Vilemon taking over mines, and the Pico darts are orbs of light and not actual darts in the adventure. I forgot to mention that. No, they're syringes in the original.
I noticed that, but I didn't take note of it. But no, you're right. They go from being these syringe darts in adventure to these orbs that still have the same name.
Not as bad as the Devil Ball in Tamers having actual syringes.
Yeah. And then we had, as I just back to the first comment that Chuckmon left about Masaru avoids going to DATS. No, I think in the dub it was possibly implied that he wasn't going back because he was scared of Miki and Megumi. But in the original, he's straight up said, I want to help my friend. So he's not going back to DATS and hiding out with his friend because he wants to help him. So I don't think that's the case at all in the original version because I think he's a good friend.
So to episode 12, they say Agumon is treated so badly since everyone thinks he's bullying. There's no basis, and it's not in his character. And also, DATS' doctors should have explained what was going on.
Yeah, no, they should have.
It's cool that there are more places in Japan that are being used that aren't just Tokyo. And as far as Atmon 47, they say they're not happy with the reveal, particularly. And I don't think neither will we, exactly.
I think 48 made up for it, almost.
It did a good job. And they said they're happy that you're leaving room for Haru and Yujin's shipping.
Of course, I leave room for all ships. Like, I have a lot of my own, head cannons and ships.
You ship Futabu, you monster.
Yeah, with the main character. No, but regarding Digimon, I still think that Mimi is just a pansexual, and same with Miyako, because they're both interested in everyone who is a little bit attractive, and it's great.
We got one from Togatak who says, Atmon has been pretty good with mixing it up and not falling prey to Digimon tropes. So depending on how they spin the ending, there are a lot of things that could work, even the power of friendship. If they end it like Persona Persona game where like the power of friendship is like legit, but it's like super hardcore power of friendship, I'd be so on board.
I feel like that is hard to write well though, because
is.
I do not, and I've mentioned this so many times, I don't like the power of love or the power of friendship to be the cure to whatever problem. It seems to be used as a fix-all and end-all solution to a lot of things in Digimon, and besides not just Digimon, everything, a lot of media seems to just have that as this is how I fix this the big problem. This is an easy fix. It's a bad fix. Like
The problem is it's usually very abstract, and also they haven't set up the love or friendship very well, and that's also one of the big issues.
But I don't think Atmon can be the thing. I don't want to say it too much because I don't want to spoil anyone. But
Well, then we'll just move on.
I don't want it to happen unless it's really, really, really well done. Which I don't.
We'll just go to this Gmail from Ryuichi.
Yeah, continue.
So you can stop being upset about a thing that never happened. They say, as far as the episodes being filler goes, the one thing that even somebody who disliked the season, they enjoys the mythology and the story in the second half. Maybe it gets better. So that Keenan has an annoying voice in the dub. Well, he's all cavemanning it up. And they ask, what do you think about the female characters so far in this season? I think we just complained. Well, you did. You
Yeah.
complained a lot. And I think we've answered that.
That's what I do. Like, I complain.
And the other female characters don't really exist. Like, they're there, but they're just background characters of nobody. And there's Sayuri, who is kind of nice, but duplicitous.
I wish that that Sayuri had like this secret background where she was actually an ultimate fighter, and that's where Masaru gets his fighting spirit from. Because we already know that Masaru's dad was a professor, so maybe he's quite, he's educated and he's withdrawn. Sayuri was just part of a gang when she was a kid.
Beating people up.
She'll be like strapping on the wrist wraps and she'll be ready to fight, and she's got like the mask on and she's got like the cool jacket with the flowers on the back. Oh, that's just what girl gangs wear in Japan.
What? Oh, do you mean the dust mask?
No, it's just like it can be as a dust mask, but it's also used as like the bandana as well, and they're sort of like a mask.
Oh, cool.
They look really cool. And they wear like the jackets and they're like, yeah, and they're really tough. I want Sayuri to be one of those because I really want him to get his fighting spirit from his mum, because he's just like, this is what men are. And then Sayuri's like, yes, we are men. Rah.
We got one from Embermoto who says that they completely agree with me about Dats's treatment of Christy. They also say that English Falcomon's voice actor is Gilmon and Yamaki in Tamers, Flamedramon, Blackwall Greymon from 02, and JP from Frontier. And the English Marukimon is the same as Myotismon, Edamon from 02, Mephistomon from the first Tamers movie. I never know about these voice actors. They do either a good enough job or I don't pay enough attention.
I get the Akuto one, which is the one I mentioned earlier, to be Koromon, Kulamon, and Tomoki, because it's the same voice.
We got one from Tumblr, from Elivor.
From the entire website Tumblr.
Oh god, it's just the staff saying, we made an unnecessary change you didn't want and nobody asked for, and it also ruins things.
We bolded some text. Wait, no, that's Niantic, never mind.
So they say, since I'd already noticed Digimon being affected by human emotions before it was revealed to be a thing, I immediately called Bull Doo-Doo. Thank you for not making me have to censor myself at the mention of the 7 deadly sins, because there are a much wider variety of negative human desires than that. Jay is right to question the emotions that brought in Petite Merimon and Elecmon, where he read the last letter. They were seemingly influenced by the vague desires of, I want something to happen even if it's dangerous, which isn't a deadly sin. While Digimon being affected by human emotions continues to be important, it being specifically the 7 deadly sins is never mentioned or relevant ever again. That's amazing. I can't believe that. They say they recommend we write off the mention of the 7 deadly sins as a moment of dumb writing and pretend Toma just said negative human desires. Ooh, that's rough. Neither of you picked up on the pretty significant differences with the way the original and the dub handled the emotion thing. In the original, Digimon are influenced by human desires. This implies that it's not really the Digimon's choice, and human emotions just force them to act a certain way, essentially brainwashing them. Mm-hmm. This is indicated by the fact that Evilmon and Co. aside, all of the emotion-affected Digimon we've seen up until now in the original either didn't speak or only spoke by mindlessly echoing words said by humans influencing them. This is also why it should be clear that Falcomon's appearance is not an example of this phenomenon, because he is clearly in his right mind and acting of his own volition rather than mindlessly acting on some human desires. Meanwhile, in the dub, it's described as Digimon feeding off human emotions, implying that they willingly come to the human world so that they can find some tasty emotions to eat. The dub's tendency to change the Digimon's mindless echoing speech into something that actually makes them sound lucid is consistent with this, at least. Not that I trust the English writing to actually be consistent generally. They like to throw in those random jokes just for fun, and it ruins things.
They're important.
But this is still a pretty huge change in a key piece of world building for the series. I invite you to keep this in mind. At any point later on in the story, when the emotions thing is relevant again, ask, does this make sense if the Digimon is deliberately feeding off the human emotions instead of being unwittingly influenced by them? That's fair.
That is
Dad's
fair.
trying to recruit Chica didn't feel forced to them. Or to me, in this case. Dad's recruiting kids is already established as a thing that happens. True for 14 and 15-year-old kids.
I think that I forget that, Masaru is still a child, like he is 14, because he just looks a lot larger.
Hey, mate, quick question for you. What's the working age in Australia?
14.9.
Oh, yeah. Cool, 14. What age is Chica?
Look, I want to correct something that Elivog pointed out, which I forgot to write down. I said that Chica was 8 in the last episode, which obviously is wrong considering her dad has been missing for 10 years. She's like 12.
Okay, so she's
maybe
12.
11.
Yeah, who doesn't work at a Nando's? 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, that they can work at their dad's farm or something.
And they say that they feel like the fact that Agumon came to the human world as an egg that Dats should have been trying to find a partner for shouldn't make episode 12 bad. It should just make episode 1 a little worse in hindsight, since apparently the writers maybe didn't know what they were doing with Dats when they wrote it.
That's worrying.
One of them has to be bad, and episode 1 has more authority than episode 12 because it was the setup for the whole show. So 12 will not make sense as a result of episode 1 rather than episode 1 not making sense because of that, because it sets a precedent. That's how it all works. That's how I feel. We got one from an Anonymon who says they think the reason they were trying to send Agumon back, even though he hatched in the real world, was because they thought he had become feral or violent, because they thought he beat up the guys that Masaru beat up. But that was only after he had already escaped and that they'd already kept him. It's true they hadn't been trying to send him back, but they had been keeping him captive for some reason.
I think what had happened is they were probably trying to... that they had him trapped in a cage or something. They were going to send him back to the digital world as an egg, but he escaped from that, and then he became a fugitive.
Maybe.
And maybe he might have, attacked someone thinking they were food. Maybe there was, a mascot who was dressed up as a hot dog.
Okay, you're going way too far into this now. It is pointless speculation. We got one from IRL Yuya who says, the Try Chapter 2 dub episode came on, and they didn't feel like changing it, so they listened to it again. When Jay was talking about fresh animation of Izzy with the blackboard, they thought about the scene where Izzy is explaining DNA digivolution, and they just replace what's on the screen. And lastly, they say, gender fluid Mekumon?
Yeah.
And the answer is no.
Yeah.
Because
No.
Mekumon does not identify as one thing or the other. People are just making mistakes.
I think all Digimon can be gender fluid if they want to.
Sure, no, if they want to. Mekumon says nothing about it and has no input on that question. Everyone else just picks whatever pronouns they want, and that's weird. That's
Right.
the problem.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And that's it for Postman Pat.
Alright, everybody, join us for the next episode of I Can't Understand What My Husband Is Saying, The Gorge of Deception,
Or Recollections of My Mother, Howl, Mac Gargamon.
and Falcomon, Friend or Foe.
Or The Ally is Falcomon, question mark, exclamation point? Violent, exclamation point. Blossomon, exclamation point.
I want it to be Violent Blossomon, because there's Street Fighter 2, I think, there's Violent Ken. That's like Ken's evil version, is how he's described. It's great.
For Weekly Wonders this week, I'm going to say another thing that you can use to learn Japanese, which is Tiny Cards, which is made by the same people who made Duolingo, but it's sort of like this, as the name implies, a flashcard sort of thing, and you don't just have to have language learning things on it. They're all fan-made, or user-made rather, and you can look up anything that you're trying to learn, or you can make your own flashcards, and it's got the same sort of experience and progression that Duolingo has, and they just released it on the Play Store, but they've had it on as a web-based thing for quite a while. So I highly recommend you check that out if you're interested in learning anything, but I'm currently learning it for Japanese. And there's also, if you search for it, and if you're learning Japanese, they actually have people who have put in the Genki textbooks and words and vocab from there. So yeah, definitely check it out, and even create your own flashcards if you want. I just think it's really useful because flashcards are useful. SRS is a good way to learn things. So yeah, that's my weekly wonder.
My weekly wonder is getting Knack 2 for free.
Oh yeah, we both got.
That's hilarious.
I woke you up.
Thank
at
you.
8 in the morning, saying, "Oh, by the way, Knack 2 releases today. PlayStation made a mistake.
Yeah. In
Actually, apparently someone
Australia,
hacked
New
it.
Zealand, and Russia.
Oh, it's Russia as well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Those 3 PlayStation stores, it was free.
Until, I think it was like until 9:30 a.m.
Super funny. So thank you for that. I don't think they've taken it away from me yet. Apparently
They haven't taken away from me
Apparently
yet.
it's in their terms of services that if you get stuff by mistake, they can just take it away from you. But maybe they just won't.
I think if you, like, I made sure to download it. It was a 40 gigabyte download, so I just left it during the day because I had to go to work.
I had to delete it to install Yakuza 0.
Oh.
So it said when I deleted it, you can install this again from your library. But you know, if I missed it, I missed it.
If they remove it from, because I remember with the, with PT.
PT's different. PT's not, we're taking this away because you got it by mistake. It's, we don't offer this on the store anymore. That's
They can't remove it, like, your download of it, though. Because I opened it
They
up.
can.
I think I opened up this morning and it loaded, so.
Mate, if your machine can remote download something, they can remote delete stuff.
Oh, no.
But they might not. They just might not do it, right? That's the difference.
I believe someone who worked for Sony made a tweet that was kind of sassy, and it said, well, since someone hacked and made Knack 2 available for free, at least we know someone will actually play it.
Oh, wow. Did you ever play Knack 1? Because I did.
I watched you play it at No Arms, yeah.
Yeah, we beat that game. That game was fun. It's not the best game, but I remember enjoying it.
It's better than
Enjoyable.
Knack 2 is better than Knack 1.
Well, it should be. You'd
but
hope that sequels get better.
Apparently it's like a 60% on Metacritic or something.
Oh, well, that's too bad. At least it was free.
Yeah, well, it's free. It was like, is this a Games for Gold? And then people were just saying it's released. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't put up a new game for Games for Gold.
It's weird. In PS
It was
Plus,
not Games for Gold, it's PS Plus,
Plus.
yeah.
I just checked them all today, and there's some good ones on there. Infamous Second Son is there, and that's great.
That's surprising. That's actually a good game.
It's a bit old, and that's why it's there.
Yeah, but they've put up some, like...
Listed in the thing is Rigs, the VR thing, but it is not free.
What?
So I don't know. It doesn't even have a discount on it. It's
I'm
just
really mad because I bought that and I haven't touched it.
It's just listed in the games, and it was just not free, and I don't know why.
I think it's your punishment for having Knack 2 is like, choose.
I'll take Knack 2.
I'll take Knack 2 too because I already had Rigs.
But yeah, Infamous is a good one there, and I think it was a good month.
I haven't even checked Xboxes yet. I should do that tomorrow.
And yeah, so that's I guess that's what I'm gonna go with. I had other ones, but I only
haven't
played like
played
an
it yet.
hour of Yakuza, so I can't say that one.
So I guess this game I got for free that I haven't touched yet.
No, it's a funny experience, guys. When you have the opportunity to get something for free, you should do it.
Yeah, so I had this moment was I was doing my morning exercises, ready for work, stuff like that, checking Facebook as I do because I've done my morning Japanese.
It's fine. We
Knack 2's
believe
for
you
free.
that you saw things with your eyes.
Immediately verified it, called Jay. Jay was like, I'm asleep. I was like, hey, Knack 2's for free because PlayStation bugged it up. What? Knack 2's for free. Oh, sweet. I guess I'll get that now. Bye. Hang up. Okay. Because you were asleep. But yeah, you got a free game and hopefully it continues to be on your system.
Just rolled over and mashed my hand on the controller.
It was like, up, Knack, Xbox, play Knack 2.
I deleted Persona 5, and then I had a panic moment where I go, oh my god, does that delete my save as well? No, it's stored somewhere else in the system.
To the CLUD.
No, it's not on the cloud.
Yeah, it's
but
also
just
the system,
just somewhere else in the system.
Also, you have to give Mitch your Vita and Persona 4 so you can play Persona 4.
Yeah, so he can.
So he can have the feelings.
Sweet. Persona 3 is also on there.
Oh yeah, I need to play more Persona 3. It's really good. The link dump's linked in the description. And this week's weekly poll is hopefully better than last week's, which was kind of lazy apparently.
How many 100% answers have we had?
None.
Exactly.
Bergermon or Aquilamon as the adult stage between Pyromon and Garudamon.
That's fair.
You can find our screenshots of the week and our weekly wonders linked in the description and in our link dump. Our Redbubble is also linked in the description, and you can get more than just shirts. And remember, we have a new design. And you can contact us and stay updated. You can email us at lostintranslationmon@gmail.com, or you can comment on this episode or messages on SoundCloud. You can follow us on @translationmon on Twitter, and you can find us on Lost in Translation on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We have a discussion thread on With the Will and a Reddit thread in the Digimon subreddit, and we would appreciate if you would review us on iTunes, Stitcher, or whatever podcast listening service you use. And we have a website, so vote in our weekly poll. You can also donate to our Patreon, which is linked in the description, and you can do that from as little as $1 a month. And that gets you access to a list of Slack chat group. But there are higher levels with more rewards, such as notes, early episodes, and more. We're almost, also, as I mentioned earlier, at our next milestone again, the Japanese Digimon board game, translation, review, and video playthrough. So we're almost there, so that's exciting.
And thank you to our current Patreon supporters, Sam Krieger, who has a podcast called The Moncast, which talks about Pokemon and Digimon, Stevie, who's Stevie Padawan on Tumblr and is currently taking commissions, Wuqinglong, who you can find at twitch.tv/Wuqinglong, Metal Mamemon, Joe, Penguin Mage, Anime Guy, who is Anime Guy Kurosaki and the number 1 on YouTube, Sharkmon, Ishwal Bamba, Hiro Olado, who is at Hiro Olado on Twitter, Jason Morosky, Ryuchi, who is Frost Miragic on Archive of Our Own, Stephen Reeves, who is at WildWing64 on Twitter, Kaidawashi, Mac, Noam, Riku, Chisai, who you can follow at Chisai236 on Tumblr, Corey, Kyle, Delady Bugman, whose anime blog you can find at bagubaragu.wordpress.com, Small Wolfie, who is on Tapastic at Small Wolfie and has a comic there called The Eden of Melancholy, Tom, Glitchgoat, Azrael McCool, Nicholas, Gene Hackmon, Matthew, Anthony, who is at AntoClassic on Twitter, Lizmet, who is Lekmon on Tumblr, Sithobi, Ellie Vorg, who is Ellie Vorg on Tumblr, Forky McForkinspoon, Megan, Kyliek, Neobu, and Jams.
You can also make one-off donation on our PayPal, which can be found linked in the description. It's paypal.me/Edgemon. Make sure to listen to the podcast. See you guys next time. Bye!
Finally.